Okay. So, I am going to be watching back my 2017 Invitational win. So, this is the 6th Invitational 2017. This is the PC Grand Finals. Continuum, which is my team, versus Era. There I am, KingGeorge.ctm. On the Thermite. Not Blackbeard, as you can see. All right. Let's watch it back, dude. I actually have not watched this back. Like, I think I watched it back when I first won and I got home, but that's it. Like, I haven't watched it, like, since then. So, it's been a long time. Game has changed a lot, yes. So, let's get into it.
Destroyed by C2 on this 5-1 the other day, and Continuum looked really good in their win.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about the Era's ban phase. They decided to ban Oregon instead of Consulate, leaving CTM open to make that pick. And maybe maybe Era's just not comfortable on Oregon. That makes a lot of sense. But they have to, honestly, they have to have
I honestly
CTM
like that.
dominating on Consulate, which is a team Era's never been good at historically throughout since season 1. They've always been uncomfortable on that map. I remember because I played with them on that particular map a lot. And it just
Mr. Slash Hug.
Not practiced.
What is this? This is my 2017 Invitational win. Is this on best quality? Oh no. Okay, it only goes up to 720, I guess.
I've been on or played against numerous times. So this is a big grudge match going in here for both teams.
As it is,
it definitely. So a lot of people don't know this, but when this game, I was supposed to join Era before Continuum. So both Continuum and Era were like. So before this match, I played on Flipside. And both of these teams wanted me to join, like, very badly. Like, they were basically fighting over, like, which team was going to end up, like, getting me.
The thing that has been holding back teams is, yes, they can get the drops open with that
Miniver, thank you for the Twitch 46 month 3, so we'll back. Hey, friends. So, Miniver. So, and I ended up going with Continuum. So, definitely, like Kix is saying in here, definitely a big grudge match.
So Canadian spotting that Valk camera, and that's blue ring in it, making it very obvious, but they are already in. They have piano control, and that's going to allow them to open up the floor, get rid of the batteries, and get that garage door open very quickly. Only when NBK feels safe about the floor above him, though, will he start making these holes.
So I'm droning them all in over here.
And again this last weekend because they couldn't get that garage door open, or they only did it with Hibana charges, and that doesn't give them enough of an angle.
Old Siege, yeah, this is Old Siege. Canadian is the only person still playing out of everyone that's in this lobby.
A little bit passive there, the grenades coming in from Capitao denying him the battery, but he's gonna try for it anyway.
He gets the
I got it, yeah. Oh no, I missed it.
Didn't see there was only one.
I don't remember.
That battery charge from Avian could change the round in their favor entirely.
KingGeorge dropping his next charge on the middle. Avian deciding to let this one go.
Yeah, he can't stop it. I remember we used to always have somebody standing on the staircase over there. This is old Consulate, so.
Yesterday, oh, he's seen the feet of Slash. Does one bullet too few to down the man. But we saw teams that lose their first.
So I tagged him up a little bit. I actually did the first damage of the Invitational. Look at that, of the Grand Finals.
The van itself is in the way.
Back when you can cook nades.
But there are 4 Era players in there. K9 at the yellow stairs, Slash and Avian behind the white van, and K9 will pick up a first kill onto NVK, but from the drop, Canadian's going to shut him straight back out again. Minute to go on the clock, and Snake is tucked.
You didn't expect to see this on stream. It's been a long time, dude. It's been a long time. I got downed here. The old ESL charms.
Onto KingGeorge. 3v3 as Necrox decided it's time to focus on the yellow stairs, and that push for him. Young still outside the garage door with KingGeorge close by, trying to keep an eye on this far corridor. They know Snake's around that area. He's fired in a couple of times.
I'm ancient. Yeah, this is 2017, dude.
Keep him locked.
Continuum have vertical pressure established, but they don't have any players
I still play
those holes, and they're just
that same skin on Therm.
Smoke charges down towards the back. Avian around the right hand side. He's prone in the battery, but he'll stay home.
I got a kill. Look at that, chat.
Throws the receiver up to the back car, takes down Young. Only KingGeorge is left standing. Snake Nade is down to the back of the room. He clips a yellow van, picks up the kill, and Era get round 1.
An efficient round from Continuum. They opened up the garage wall just as we needed to see, and they actually established vertical control at the same time.
There I am. Look at that.
Losing those engagements.
Youthful young man right there with hair.
Yeah, it was
With
smart
hair,
back and
chat.
forth from Era.
With
Snake
hair.
managed to survive
Hope
those
in his
shots,
eyes.
drop down the C4 from Young over the top. It's all it took to swap out that last 2 men with the plant. Time now for
Canadian looks
to
like
set
a
up their
baby. I
defense.
mean, we
They are
all
going
do,
to
dude.
want
You got to think this was
to control a lot here.
2017.
Now, that may
We're in
be
2024 now.
coming out from Era. There's a few spots that can be used.
And this was in like February of 2017. That's
Yeah,
what
I'm sure
Invite
Era
is.
expected them to be defending basement or upstairs. We saw last time Era played on Consulate, they did use that thermite to use in
Yeah, 7 years ago,
and,
dude.
get rid of the European meta, which is to mold the upstairs site to their advantage with castle and impact grenades.
So this was my main setup. I used to pretty much always play Valkyrie, and I used to play Thermite. That was my setup. By the way, I used to really like when you would switch
overall, I think, yeah,
from side to side. Yeah, I could turn the volume up.
more useful to have an Ash.
Can you guys
And I
still
think,
hear
yeah,
me?
Continuum
Like, well?
potentially picked lobby first because they knew Era would pick.
So, George hanging out here in the bathroom now to throw this camera straight out, quick on spawn and fall back.
I used to have all these like cameras that I used to throw like deep in the trees on this map.
From a man inside, and that camera will allow that to be possible. Drone's going in towards Garage from Slash, though. He's got K9 here in support. They're going to push through this
I used
side
to
of the map.
love switching side to side, man. Audio bug?
Meanwhile, the rest of the team
Really?
finding out where it's close over towards Visa, and there is Eclipse right by those spiral staircases. So the focus coming in from the north side of the building for now from Era.
Snake used to
We'll
use
lock off a lot of the
that
road
DMR, and
constructions here.
he used to be able to shoot it like super fast. Now the screen is messed up. Wow.
Getting between
Whole bunch
A
of
and B.
technical
Those
issues,
now
I
being
guess.
Opened up completely. Does have Canadian down in the bottom of the spiral staircase though, as he checks the heartbeats and skirts his way up.
We're all
Up
over.
and above them all, he's got KingGeorge on this floor with him. Eclipse is opening up that wall from behind, but MBK is there to stop it. Will survive the sprint across back into Piano. So those Hibana charges all cancelled. Canadian C4 from up top takes down Snake. And there's
Canadian
Mark
is
out of the
still
picture.
so nuts on Pulse, dude.
Oblivion and Eclipse
This was
down below.
old
Flashbang
Pulse,
going up
too.
into where Canadian is now. Gonna have to fall back out of that room.
Why'd they get rid of the outdoor
Whatever
Val
they can do
cams?
with his eyes.
Honestly, they were really broken.
1 minute 44.
And they were like,
Still plenty of
I
time
don't
for
know,
the
they were
attacking
just like
team,
not
but they are
fun.
stalled outside. Eclipse
Like having to
looks
look
kill and
everywhere
takes the
outside
Crocs
for a
out of the
Val cam
picture.
was just
Smoke
so
gone. That's a big
annoying.
one for delaying this push.
This was how this site got played a lot, though. People would open the bathroom walls up and stuff.
Yeah, Era knowing that
I
if
still
you push
remember,
into the lobby
I
continues
think
to potentially
it was when we were on
finish
Flipside, we used to
Really
use that
unsure
strat
what
all the
they're going to
time.
be
And I
doing
brought
here.
this strat
Canadian is thinking about jumping
over
out. We've all seen
to
him do it
Continuum.
multiple
They
times
used
before.
it
We
too,
know he
I'm
loves
pretty
it.
sure.
Dodges
But
that black
Fletcher
flag,
guys,
picks
taking
up
the tribe
yellow
8
stairs
months,
on
missed the
it.
good old
Canadian
days.
with
Same.
the
In some
flag.
ways, I do too.
Eclipse
Mac,
takes
thank you for the
down
68
and
months.
slots
George ran out the
MBK
ability to
as
make
well.
content, so he's
Only
watching
2
an 8
defenders
to
left
9
now.
year old. The
KingGeorge
glory
and
days.
Young.
Yeah.
Young is picked up by Eclipse, who's going very aggressive.
Listen, it's
It's
better
time
than
Piano
playing cheaters in
upstairs.
ranked.
Now
Old
KingGeorge is the
Smokes.
last
You guys
remaining
remember the
defender
old
against
Smokes?
4. He's going to have to come through the drop. They hear him.
The
Eclipse is
smoke
holding the angle,
propagation
and
was
Eclipse
so terrible.
picks his third of the
Terrible.
round
I just got fried.
and keeps Era on a roll.
That was great compartmentalized aggression from Era. They waited for Continuum to force themselves into well, that aggression from Canadian, what we saw, he was pulsing outside the
Dude,
window.
old Continuum.
He didn't actually end up
Somebody,
jumping out,
I
but
think I want to say
Eclipse was just
Smack
ready to
or
catch him
Exec
on the
has
retreat.
that big Continuum
And then
background.
Ferris
I'm
next
pretty
round of defense. They're
sure.
looking to go up to console and meeting. It's obviously not allowed to go in the basement anymore. That's
You should
locked
do this
all
more often. It's
around,
really
but still
nostalgic.
those
It
two
is
are
honestly
viable.
like pretty cool to look back
Continuum's
on.
attacking force, knowing that there's no garage play in here, are dropping that thermite themselves, going with just the Hibana for that breach, and bringing.
I was a buck here. I still remember this strat that we did.
Commonly speaking, with the
I forgot
block
if
you're
this
taking on
worked
this
or
particular
not.
site, you're going to have him
There's a
just
certain
repel on the
strat
B
here.
windows,
I'll
or
wait
have
for it to
somebody
play
rush
out.
the flank with the run out from garage or the run out from yellow stairs, and you'll just wait for the picks to happen. But going against a team like Era, they're going to expect that. They've been playing against that for a long time, and I don't think they're going to open themselves up to those particular picks. Maybe play a little bit more passive in the site. And
Coda is
it's gonna be
better.
interesting to see
Okay.
how Continuum handles with that. Will
Are
they
you
try
okay?
and go underneath with some grenades? They do have 4 grenades. Or will they
Mistake?
take from admin instead
Okay.
to try and force their issue with
I know,
Ingame
man.
ball?
Also, of
The
course,
one thing I was
Castle
not
area here
thinking
with
about when I
Snake and
started, when I loaded up this
Castle
VOD,
all
was
back
just
long.
hearing Kix's voice and stuff again.
They are going to use it on the A windows this time. Before we saw them
Is,
using it on admin, we saw them using it on the B side,
Ugh.
blocking out the different ends of the map. But
don't know, man.
putting it on that A balcony this time instead.
They know there's a camera. They're looking for it.
Yeah, they're trying to hunt. They're checking and making sure there's no one being aggressive onto these windows. The first round it happened, but Nothing came from it, and well.
Yeah,
Era decided
but
to
as
play
you can
very, very
see,
safe.
Young is playing Blackbeard,
Yeah,
not me.
Blows free open the window to connector and tries to repel up there later on, or just leave it open for the Blackbeard to head to. 2 players over towards admin office for Era.
Man, the
They're still
video
very
quality is
mobile.
so
They're
bad.
all
They
over
used to
the place
stream
at
on
the
such
moment,
terrible
but they know
settings.
Continuum are playing a very cautious game and taking the time getting into the building. I say that with MBK going against it, which is kind of what MBK does every time we see him play. His team will have one idea in mind. His team will go one way and they'll go slow. And MBK will go very aggressive.
MBK was so...
On the other hand, picks up 2 himself. He does
Troy.
damage for the 3rd one, but will fall down to Eclipse on the window. Slasher
This
taking
is back
MBK
when the Paul shotgun was super good.
Been answered 2 kills apiece right now.
And I think this is that confidence that we were expecting to see from Continuum, the confidence the Canadians said they had going against Era. They're pushing a little bit aggressively, and it has been, well, they've been trading out evenly.
And do you know how good the Paul shotgun was back then? Very good, dude. And there was, I think Quick Swap was still in the game at this point.
Connector, and that means he's going to have a challenge to get the Blackbeard, but he won't have
I got shotgunned off the window by Eclipse.
He's already picked up 2 kills this round. Slash getting the Crocs from inside the middle of the corridor over towards Yellow Stairs. That means Young is alone now. He's going to have to jump up on the desk. He does get slashed down. Desert Eagle is what he's going to have to use to finish him, but as he sprints across the gap, Snake misses the important shot. He knows that he's pinned in the corner. Young does have the diffuser. It's a Blackbeard. A long-range fight like this, the
old pistol recoil was terrible. It really was so bad, dude.
On a fresh one. Drops the diffuser. He can't plant it in that cupboard. But Snake knows where he is. There's a camera in the room. Judging from the way Snake's playing, he just peek around and he sticks out of Snake!
The drop shotting. Dude, remember the drop shotting in Siege?
Who, as we talked about, lost 5-1 on this map not a day ago.
Oh, man.
They are up 3-0.
This map was definitely slanted in Continuum's favor from the get-go, but it seems like Era just really know what they're doing against Continuum. It's possible that because of the amount of times Continuum have played this particular map, they've done their studying, and this is similar to what we saw Elevate versus Vitality earlier. Consulate was such a played map by Vitality that Elevate just, they knew. They practiced it.
There I am, ancient, old. Actually, there I'm youthful.
Not happy with how that lobby
they called me the old man back then, actually.
The basement level.
I was the old man of the team.
Not working here on Era, and they did make
so I was literally old back then.
And a Thatcher as well. No Twitch this time. Last time they played on Consulate on their basement
this
attack,
is
they
like,
Twitch,
I'm just watching this on YouTube, off of like the Rainbow
Six
Six channel.
Garage, and they ended up losing the round. Or losing a number of rounds, for that matter.
Quite a few, yeah. So not making that same mistake again. We do have Young playing close to the garage wall with no batteries pre-placed, so I suspect we'll see an active play from him as well. See if he can pick up 1 or 2 charges like Avian did on their turn down there. Now, of course, don't remember that the other caster, by the way, with
Era can also go back down the garage, oh my god, the slap with the knife, that old animation. The other caster with kicks, by the way, is Panky. Panky was actually an excellent caster as well. I kind of wish he would have stayed in the Rainbow Six scene. I mean, I think the game was significantly worse back then, you know, back at this era of the game. But
KingGeorge underneath that window sees it get punched open, sprays a few bullets on in, but he is low. So Snake's Buck is not going to pick up a kill this time round. 2 minutes 40, they're already up onto the garage wall. The first charge is placed and burning through, and it will not be picked up by Young. First garage wall open for the attacking Era squad.
Panky,
no time
I think he ended up becoming like I think he ended up becoming like a community manager for like HyperX or something.
KingGeorge at the top floor ready to try and stop him.
Yeah, and Snake's on the roof, but those smokes went out very, very early there. So I might expect using them just to cross over and get the second half of the wall open.
Are they just going to try and run into the garage and
it's just a quick rush plant, but I mean, it's a big, big risk, of which...
We saw that from Dexterity, and it did not work for them.
He used it to just cross across and get that second charge off, so now both thermite charges used. The wall on the garage very much open. It allows Avian here to sit there and fire.
2 outside. Dude, the strat was to throw like all of your cameras outside back then.
On Canadian, who takes down K9. It's a good kill, but K9's job's been done. The Thatcher charges were used, the garage wall is open, so not the biggest kill.
Back when Buck had nades, chat. Do you guys remember Buck nades? Oh.
Right, minute 30 to go, and it looks like Era are shaping up for something to move here. Smoke charges are already being used aggressively.
Nading out in the
back of the white van. They do tag Young up, can't kill him. He's dropped down towards it now, and while they did have Hibana looking below and looking at the feet, he's back up to the white van to safety. Drone's coming in to look and confirm, see if he's still there, find out if he's dead or down.
AG was 40 back then.
Confirm that he's still there. Sprint goes in, now Eclipse changes his mind. shots are rattling through. Era's entire strategy seems to be this right now. They're going to go for it. In they come. The cross is going to fall by pipe. Back of the white band. Eclipse has grabbed a second. Slash is on 1-2. Now Eclipse is jumping out. Canadian and KingGeorge are aggressively all over the place. NVK now inside with a Slash in a 1v1. Inside the A site, NVK holds firm. Slash doesn't
flying out the windows, chat.
The garage door. They have 45 seconds to go here. Don't know whether Slash has any drones to play with, but he's going to have an idea.
No, Barb did not do damage at this point.
Picks him up as he strafes across the garage, and Continuum have a round.
First round to Continuum, as you said. That was an interesting round from Era. They just decided to force their way into
NVK was so good, dude.
A
NV clutch
ended up costing them the round, not being able to get that bandit. And because they
look at the sweat on my forehead, dude.
There was barbed wire in front of the white band, made it so they could.
I'm honestly so pasty there.
Into the garage. And when you've got a
I think I might be like more pasty
than
now.
You just aren't capable of doing that. You're gonna lose the round.
Yeah, and that barbed wire also, as you say, locking them out there, allowed KingGeorge to jump out from above to get around behind and do some serious damage as well. Down now then, Aragu
Chat,
to
listen,
the basement once more.
This game took my hair and my sanity, okay?
You're not on that match point that they would have liked. So, as the attacking lineup from Continuum fits the same setup.
But no Thatcher, unfortunately. Now, that means that Avian's going to have a lot.
The reason we didn't take a Thatcher is because we used to play the person on the staircase to shoot the bandit batteries.
On the drone hole, but it just
Canadian still plays. I mean, the rest of the people still play the game like for fun, but none of them play like professionally anymore.
Many holes in the floor as he perhaps needed to stop that bandit.
Right.
I mean, up until fairly recently, Eclipse and Slash still played.
All the grenades, 6 grenades on the floor.
Young Necrox and NVK stopped playing competitively maybe a few years ago as well. Garage used to be 3 walls, is crazy, yeah. It was, and you could only use 2 reinforcements back then too.
As the attack will come forth. Snake the last man down, but he is now back into the basement with the rest of his team as the drones start to scan the top floor and continue doing.
How are the volume levels, by the way, chat? They're good.
Early entrances once they enter the majority of the obvious hiding spots to watch those first doors is clear. They'll get straight on in and then take the fight as they
And while Era did open up those drop downs to try and scare Continuum, they know better. All 5 of the defending operators are in the basement, and they move with confidence in that knowledge.
So Canadian in towards piano already, checking for drones, checking for hiders, checking for cameras. And once it gets picked off by our friend, he will make his way forward. Grenade has already come through the drone hole towards where Bandit is sitting and taken out some of the barbed wire, taken out anything they might have found in there. Canadian now starts to make a few keyholes in the floor below him towards some of the predictable spots, towards some of the known hiding spots within inside garage. But for now, Continuum's whole attack has slowed down a little bit as he tries to find
Team reinforcements was one of the best things ever. I would agree. It was one of the best things that ever happened to the game. So this is why we didn't take a Thatcher, because NVK used to sit on the staircase right here, and he could stop Avian from banditing, and we knew that. So our goal was like take upstairs.
Baiting that bandit into trying to bandit the wall.
So Kicks called our strat perfectly.
Because NVK's extreme aggression on the inside, getting into those yellow stairs early, denies bandit.
Young is cheating.
Through the wall, picks up one. NVK will pick Avian up as well at the back of the right hand and come on in to get K9 down in the kitchen.
Look at the lighting back then. I'm not saying I like the lighting back then in terms of like gameplay and stuff like that. It was horrible, but it did look pretty cool. But the old lighting was horrible.
It's Slash against 5. The man has a mountain to climb, and Canadian will put him right back down to the bottom and bring us into a 3-round-2 scoreline.
And this is what we saw from Yera last time on this particular map. On that late roam, those 2
that was
BK behind, just unable to hit their shots and ultimately not contributing to the team at all.
So those are the 2 old ES elements. Vets behind Era, BK behind us. Both of them were really cool. I liked both of them a lot, actually.
Everybody was within that garage.
You can't see George over his monitor. Okay, I'm a little, you know, vertically challenged.
They didn't really check the back of the garage. They couldn't make it that far. But they just knew from what they had cleared, what they had peeked, what they had seen, where these defenders must have been. And then it was like, all right, we got a minute to go, time to kill them. And they just step on in. And as you say, MBK wasn't stopped coming down the yellow stairs. And he made his way through the garage, cleaning up everyone as they showed him.
And then with the late 2 roamers, they had the knowledge to know that those guys were going to be there. They'd watched the previous VODs from earlier.
Yeah.
Remember where you were when you saw this?
And they were very ready for those guys to come.
Yep, they know that Era likes to do those late roams, and now they're back onto defense of this lobby and piano room. The drones are hidden around and just keeping an eye on where these setups are going on through, but won't provide anything too crazy surprising. Once again,
look at that lighting.
Thermite here on Slash for the attacking
Looks
team.
really cool, but horrible for gameplay.
Not really a huge impact. They tried to do a lot of their work with
horrible for
banner.
gameplay.
Even she was stopped thanks to NVK's aggressive Jaeger play, straight up shooting all the charges.
And it looks like Era are going to try and address this from the north again. Move straight into.
They're trying to do that same bathroom strat.
Like you said, into the bathroom. I'm not sure it's really going to work for them this time. Continuum are probably going to make the necessary adjustments. How else would you address this? Maybe come in from Visa? You can't do front door because, as you saw, there's.
I had such a dedicated fan that they were playing with my name in the grand finals.
On this lobby attack. It is one of the less defended.
What was the lighting fix? I want to say it was in like in between, like around like year 2 and 3 is when it got fixed.
Instead of okay, this is how we've.
And it got tweaked over the seasons past that, but the big overhaul was in like year 2 and 3.
They know they've got Era pinned on the outside. They know they're not coming in anytime soon.
No, this is
find a way
like it. Well, yeah, I guess Operational was year 2. That was part of when it happened, but it mostly got a bigger overhaul later down the line, if I remember right. I could be wrong, but you miss cooking frag grenades? I don't.
Not going to stop those ones from any angle. That means you're in a slightly precarious position now. Sprints across the gap, takes a little bit of damage from this Blackbeard, but Avian can only hit his chest. Can't deal the killing blow. So Young into that corner now, and he knows about it. Avian just going to try and hold him there as more Hibana charges go up. Young comes around, shots into the shield. Avian can't land the killing blow again, and Young, while unhealthy, is alive. Minute 26 to go, and like before, Era are stuck outside here. Eclipse has walked straight into a trap, Slashes at the top of the staircase.
The old ADS time, look how fast it was.
Now Slash is there, and they're trying to fight it more, but NVK chooses the sensible option.
NVK was a demon on Jaeger, dude.
Flash, though,
that guy was an absolute demon on Jaeger. That was old Jaeger, that was super good.
In fact, he's dropped through the hatch. The grenade opened it up, I believe, and he's dropped down through.
Snake? Yeah, Snake was a player all through year 1 and year 2, I think.
The numbers are starting to level.
Yeah.
4v4 and 50
I think
maybe
he played longer than that. He played at least through year 1 and 2.
But it's going to be an explosive push when they come through. The defenders are starting to rotate back towards the sites and get ready for the push to come in. Still got a couple of people underneath with cameras and C4s, as you mentioned. But those are big risk-reward plays when you're at this time on the clock. If you miss it, you've got to rotate all the way up, and that can take quite a bit of time. Canadian out the front door, sees Slash, but he's ready for it. The shots are in, and Slash will repel inside as he grabs the kill. Snake's above, but KingGeorge takes down K9 to make it a 3v3. KingGeorge still below. Slash is planting inside the A site. NVK's above.
We had no idea they were planning.
Slash just back out through the window now. And they are holding their angles. NVK creeping across into Piano. Avian is there, but Avian will get taken up into Crocs. Knifed on the way through. Slash
the old knife, dude.
So the last two players are outside Piano. The bomb is inside Piano. Necrox and KingGeorge both have to come from the same side of the map. And they need to find a way through. Slash prone behind the barrel Canadian, and it's not going to be enough. Slash gets the kill onto Necrox. Out the top goes KingGeorge. He finds Snake Nate. Does he know where Slash is? He can see him. Spraying through the trees. He takes down him. He's going to go for it. He's got to get to the diffuser.
I had a little clutch there, but I remember I didn't have time.
Remember, it's a 7-second defuse. He's going to have to be very, very close on this. He's holding it, but I don't think he has time. It's going to be a couple of punches through. This could be match point here for Era, and it is an attacker win.
It was close. It was a close one.
A great attack from Era, although a very close
I was on flip side before this, and then so actually after the Invitational, I joined Era, the team that we beat.
If only KingGeorge were playing a 3-speed.
Yeah, if he had the little bit extra, he might have just made it in time. As it is, Era onto map point then. Now they're going to go and defend one of these previously seen and successful bomb sites, but
there's my Corsair keyboard.
Again, are great at losing around and learning from it, adapting to it. And
back in the day, you missed beating the shit out of the diffuser.
This is definitely not what I expected to see from either of these teams. This is Continuum's map, and Era is up 4-2.
Apex Secrecy though, they had the 26-month resub. Welcome back.
Not expecting to see what we saw with the Xbox final earlier today. Today has been flipped on its head for me.
Once again, then attacking this top floor bomb site, we do have KingGeorge on a thermite, not as useless as he is when you take him to the lobby and the piano room defense, but where would you ideally use him?
On this particular bomb site, well, it depends on how Era sets it up. If they set it up like Europe has been setting it up, then I would say taking from admin, moving.
This was an NA final, by the way. They used to use a controller to spectate. They did, yeah. That's why a lot of people think that I used to play on consoles because they saw the control scheme on like the monitor.
Thermite their way in through there. There are a number of different options, but overall, I'd say Thermite isn't the.
What, did he attack you like that?
This particular bomb site.
It wasn't an attack on me. He was saying about Thermite upstairs being useless.
So, Canadian checks the top of the flagpole for a camera. The drones are going around.
What's up, Waxy?
KingGeorge is going to spot Slash. There it is. The shots come rattling off as he sprints down.
No. He was saying that Thermite is generally useless upstairs.
No, he went downstairs now. The rest of his team are on the top floor, still setting up the last couple of defenses, opening up a couple of windows and checking.
Listen, I'm an old man now, but at this time, I was probably one of the most valuable players in all of Pro League. Like, one of, if not one of the, for sure one of the most valuable players. This is when every team was trying to get me to be on their team. I did. Listen, both of these teams, I ended up joining Continuum and we won. But Era and Continuum were fighting over which team was going to be basically getting me to be on their team.
Have droned inside and gathered a bit of information, and now look like they've changed their mind about where it is they want to push exactly, where it is they want to pressure. We still have the Crocs holding this window, making sure no jump.
Blazing myself. Listen, dude, I might be old now, but I'm an old man these days. But back in the day, okay. Let me at least have my glory days, okay. How did I choose? I felt that Continuum had a better chance to win. I thought that, both me and Canadian had really good strategy and IGL abilities, and if we combined our minds together, we would be able to win, and we did. Didn't I entry for a bit? I used to entry before this. I was on Flipside before this, and when I was on Flipside, I used to IGL, and I used to entry.
KingGeorge will finish off a clip. MVK's in the same staircase. He's played the whole game, and he picks up Slash from there. Now up into the A balcony goes Thermite.
Well, after this, I went to Era, which then became Rogue.
Inside the A site, hidden away, and it's 2v5 now. 50 seconds to go, and into B goes the diffuser. They know where these last two players are, and they are pinned. Snake underneath this window as KingGeorge is out on the balcony. Snake's trying to edge around. He has no C4. KingGeorge comes in, and he will win that
Still got him.
Gets the kill onto Snake Nade. K9 now alone. Got a grenade in the room with him. MVK's out there. Canadians team killing MVK in their panic to kill K9. On the connector window, K9 they were just going to hold firm.
I still remember. I was telling everybody to calm down. Let me plant. I actually do remember this.
Location right now, and he's going to have to fight his way out. He's using every little second he can to gather what information. While Canadian has moved completely away from the connector window. There's
Where Rogue is vertical.
The one from the Crocs.
Yeah, vertical ended up being fine. At first, we had problems with the guy who owned vertical not paying us, but eventually he apologized. He had some financial problems and stuff, and he did end up paying us everything he owed us. So look at my nose peeking out there, dude.
They were trying to push in. They couldn't find themselves an opening. And Era unfortunately got a little bit too aggressive and kind of just handed it to them on a silver platter.
Yeah, we've seen time and time again. We saw from Continuum the other day. Okay, they're on all the windows. They're stuck on the windows.
Look how small the stands are. Big difference. Definitely. It was in a theater back then.
They've got to be there. Now, the non-reinforcement in the connector allows Canadian to pick up the kill regardless.
I look so young. I know, dude.
The rest of them were picked off as they
Ancient
started to
history.
run around too much. Started to be too mobile. So all a case of waiting and letting them come in. Continuum note now down into the basement themselves for what could be our overtime.
This one was in Montreal, yeah.
Setup from Era is a very familiar attack lineup.
This was a very meta lineup that we had. You know, you basically always picked Jaeger and Valkyrie no matter what site you were on, and probably Smoke. And then, Pulse was super good back then, same with Bandit. So I honestly think they should have kept this version of Consulate around.
Yeah, Era opened up those holes just to scare the enemy team, but I feel like Continuum...
Look at that, 6 and 4. I wasn't doing too bad.
So, as always. Canadian running around the map, checking all the different
Before
spots
Bolo,
with
there
his
was
sensor and looking
NVK.
at where
Pretty
it is the
much,
majority
yeah.
of players are gonna come
NVK
from.
was like the
Down the
best.
gas station, but there's course to the windows, just KingGeorge is
Most people
breaking
considered
the wall.
NVK the best player in the
I'm
world
sure
back
of
then,
where
like
it is he
in
may
terms
be,
of like
making sure
aimer,
very,
I
very
guess,
slowly
in terms of just
safely
being able to pick up
first
kills.
Are Era going to just simply go for a garage door attack this time, or are they going to establish themselves vertically as well? They do have that Hibana and Buck. They can easily open up the drops. They can open up behind White Van. They can open up above Pipe and Pillar. But they just haven't done that as of yet, and it doesn't seem like they're applying any pressure to
I actually like the new consulate, but I just think it should have been a new map. I don't know why they took out old consulate.
Wall open, then the flashbangs went in. It was enough so that Young could no longer battery trick the wall in the correct spot. Didn't pick the right one, and that means one of them is open. Slash now cautious, baiting out with the sound of that.
No, in the beginning of the game, NVK was considered the best player. Pengu was not even at this event as a player. He didn't even qualify. Pengu was really kind of came onto the scene as like a really good player more during like year 2.
And they're going to drone in and find out what's waiting for them. Unsurprisingly, won by White Van.
When G2 had their like.
There is a Canadian, however, up on top of this balcony. Misses the first few shots from his jump out. Does take
when
a little bit
G2
of
had
damage,
their
safely now.
Era as
down.
I threw that C4 through the skylight. I don't know if you noticed where I threw that. I didn't kill anybody because no one was standing there.
It's going to be more and more dangerous. Smoke grenades go towards the back of the White Van to help take out the trophy system. Nade will come over from Snake, and it's taken out by the next trophy system that was there and waiting.
Oh yeah, all of G2 was really good. But I'm saying like Pengu was not like someone was saying that Pengu is like considered the best player at this. It was definitely MVK at least at this time. Because like during like for example, Pengu wasn't even at this event. He did not qualify to play at the time.
50 seconds to go now. And friends are holding firm until Slash will open up the killing onto Canadian. One of the
Year 1, yeah. It was definitely the Stone Age. I won't disagree with you there.
I remember jumped down from above before, and that threat is still here. 38 seconds, and we're still waiting. Slash throws another smoke grenade towards the back of the van. Avian peeking forward again. The diffuser is in Slash's hand, but as Avian will fall, Young gets taken out by Slash. Sorry, Young takes out Slash. Back of those White Vans, MBK is low again. The diffuser being picked up now. Blackbeard is down. Snake goes and takes down Young. KingGeorge will trade down Eclipse. NBK and KingGeorge the last two now. Snake picks up a double. Snake picks up a third now, and it's KingGeorge alone against 2. Avian could be getting revived outside, but the diffuser is hanging on. Avian is up, so it is now.
What am I doing? Why didn't I go for the more aggressive play? Maybe we had a Valcam here or something? No. I should have gone for a more aggressive play there, looking back, for sure.
Hidden behind the ACOG, Avian.
I actually still remember that. On my screen, there was a massive piece of client-side debris. That literally, I just had a moment like fly back to me right now on that one. No, I specifically remember that. There was a massive piece of client-side debris in my face.
Unexpected map number 1. Consulate then in favor of Era, the map that they have not had a good weekend on. Now,
excuses. Oh my god.
Build an idea for these maps.
I remember though, we were actually not very worried at this point.
They played very similarly.
Like we still knew that we were going to win.
Been losing on, but they very much learned from those losses. They are making sure they can get that garage door, making sure they bring the right operators to do it successfully. Right. And from there on out, they were landing every single shot.
I have a giant vein in my sweaty forehead.
That was, in fact, Continuum's map pick, which means we're going to be going now to Era's map pick, which is Border. Now, I don't know which team is going to be a little bit more slotted for this because we haven't seen a whole lot of it from either one of them.
No, it's going to be a very interesting one to watch. It's another one with multiple viable bomb sites in it, too.
Right.
So choosing where to go from these two.
You hated the client-side debris?
Surprising game from either way.
In essence, on Border,
it was honestly the worst.
Pretty much any bomb site. A lot of people thought that Tellers was completely undefendable, but Dexterity proved differently. You just have to be a little bit creative, given that it is still technically a new map.
King Salt, that was for me.
And I mean, speaking of new maps to the Pro League, Skyscraper, if needed, will be our 3rd map. You can't get much newer than that one.
Oh my god, that's so funny, bro. This is like before I even really streamed, too.
Continuum looking a little bit broken here at the moment, and that's not a good sign with 2 maps left to play.
There's a lot of pressure on here. I mean, Continuum have to live up to the fact that they are last season's champions. They have to live up to the fact that 2 of the players on Continuum were previously on Era. There's a lot riding on that, and you can really kind of feel that in the atmosphere.
So make sure all the player setups are perfect going into
Canadian was stressing.
Error to continue on border. Well, it's a map with a lot of long-range firefights.
There's
Absolutely.
Jarvis.
Yeah.
It's a map with
You
a
can
lot
see
of
Jarvis there,
verticality, it's a
dude.
lot
You
of
guys
that
remember
possible
Jarvis?
damage from underneath. C4s,
I think the
Canadians
person with the
jumping
King
down,
Salt sign was
on the heads
Pojo,
against
I
dexterity
want to
with a
say.
Very aggressive opening round, picking up 4 kills.
Yeah, it's the sort of map that we've seen the teams handle differently. We've
There's
seen
Panky and
teams have
Kicks,
that
dude.
aggression, like you said, with MVK. We've seen teams play for a little bit introverted, wait for the counter take, which is what
I
we saw
swear,
from
man, it
Dexterity.
doesn't feel like he's
And
gone.
I'm really interested to see how Continuum's going to handle that, because we know how Era does it. They go for the aggression. Or sorry, rather, Continuum does it. They go for the aggression. I'm curious to see how Era's going to handle it. But moreover, Continuum just lost that map. They're a little bit demoralized now. You could see it on their faces. Are they going to still retain that aggression on border? Are they going to be able to make those runouts happen? Or are they going to be playing a little bit more conserved, a little bit more passive, which is what we saw from Vitality when they lost their first map. Going into the next one, that pressure was just too much, and they played a little bit slower.
Maybe that C4 after the first kill that helps secure the opening round here for Era. A couple of very nice moments.
Kicks is
Split second making
Kicks is still the best caster that this game has ever had.
As well,
And
there were a couple on both sides.
Beyond that,
always a few from here,
I've
right?
known,
Not everyone can be a winner,
you know,
but Kicks
I knew
stepping up
Kicks
as
from
well
the
and
very
making
start
a
of
couple
this
rounds,
game,
picking up a
so
couple
it's,
of big moments with that
Ugh.
rushing on in.
I don't know,
I
man.
mean, nothing in this was crazy, surprising, new and different, right? We weren't seeing strategies we've never seen before. We
I
weren't seeing
mean,
operators we've
one
never
of the
seen before.
strategies was
It's
open
different
up
with
the
Parker
garage
and
walk
Pangu.
into
It'll
the
never
garage.
be the same.
Original season
No.
1 strat. Now that one originally
won't.
didn't work. Second
No, it
time
didn't.
around, however, it did. That jump out, one of the reasons why it didn't work. But then the second time around, that final deciding round, it did. They just made sure they stayed practiced, made sure they stayed disciplined, and make sure
Terra
they checked everything
sucks.
before they win.
Right.
And it's old school meta, but it works if you just make sure you do it perfect.
I think a lot
I
of
mean,
it
don't get
comes
me wrong.
down to
I
one
think
engagement that we
Pengu's
saw here
still
from
Pengu
Avian
is
on
still
that
a
back
good.
north window. They did, while they did win
He's
that
still a
round,
good
he missed a number of shots. It made it a lot more difficult than it had
caster
to be.
and
then
stuff.
you saw
I
there,
just miss Kicks, dude.
KingGeorge, a little bit slow on killing that second player, and as such, didn't have enough time to make it to the bomb.
Very nice shot there from Canadian through that wall. As we said, it needs to be reinforced.
Oof.
And then the map.
I still remember. That's why he didn't shoot me right away either. There was a giant piece of client-side debris.
It's a terrifying thought to beat. But we got to move forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got to look on up. We got to be continuum, and we got to think about it. So, all right, forget that.
Yeah, Pangu is a really good analyst for sure.
And going into border, it really is going to come down to if they can retain the aggression that we saw from them last time on border, if they can force out those pushes, if they have that confidence, we are Continuum, we are the previous season's champions, we will not be defeated 2-0, and just force it out.
So we're looking at Continuum on defense first, going by the lobby here in front of me. Looking at their top floor bomb site, looking at their armory locker as defense. Where do they focus? Where should you be pushing
Continuum?
to find their weakness? Yeah, Continuum on defense. Where do Era push? Where's the weakness? What do you exploit?
Well, Era, they have been known to push both sides.
Did
of the
having
site. They
Kicks
can do
commentate your
either
win
or.
make it
They
even
can
more
come from
special?
offices,
Yeah.
They can push their way in through
Absolutely.
the B wall. They can come from offices
When
and simply
Kicks was
push their
still a
way from-
professional
they can come from
player, like
offices
we
and
used
monitors and
to-
push their way in through the B door.
we used to
They can come
trade-
from monitors
This is like
and go
it's
straight into
actually
the
kind of
A
funny. I
wall.
saw
There's a
Kicks'
lot of
mom
different options, and I
at
think
an
going up
event
against a
like
team
kind
like
of
Continuum,
recently,
it's really a
and
difficult choice to make. I expect
she
to see
asked
from
me, she's
Continuum
like,
probably a
what's a
pulse
memory that
underneath
you
to
have
deny
with
both
like
bomb-
Michael when
bomb
you guys used to
sites,
play and stuff?
because the only place
And
you
I
can
knew
play
right away.
in
Like
either
we used to
defensive
trade
league
Val
without
cams all the
actually getting
time.
C4
So
from
Kicks used to
underneath
play a lot of
is a
Valkyrie, and so
little
did
bit on
I.
the B side,
So
and it's still
we were on
kind of
different
exposed and
teams.
dangerous and
So we used to
considered a kill box. So it's
we used
difficult
to
get
trade Val cams.
I'm not really sure.
Like
where
I would
Era's
show him
gonna
a Val
focus their
cam,
attack.
he would
Maybe
show me a Val
Montaigne
cam. I would
in
show him
B.
a Val
We
cam,
have seen
he'd
that
show me a Val.
before,
We'd
and it
basically
has been
trade them. We'd
successful,
trade
but
Val cams.
Again, it's going to really come down to, I think, the
And we
drone
spent, like,
phase, finding out
hours.
where Continuum's place their armors,
Hours in like
and then
custom
just
game
executing
servers
based
and
off
stuff, like looking for
But we've seen
cams
teams in the
together,
past
trading
sit there with
cams
their
that we
vibrant
knew.
defense, sit there in the armory
So
lockers, reinforce the office and just play that
he was a
area.
good friend, man.
Continuum, we know
He's a
are
good
not
dude.
team to do that.
No.
Canadians can be
Sad that
running
he's
around,
gone.
Canadians
Likely.
can be running around too. Canadians will be downstairs, CCTV all over the shop. How do you deal with that?
Stealing Val cams from YouTube. Back then, you had to make them, dude. There was no such thing. You had to pioneer shit back then. There was
I don't know that you
literally no such
necessarily-
thing.
Okay, droning and beating him in a fight on aggression, no, I would say that's the wrong decision to make. I'm not sure you necessarily need a Montaigne to get compartmentalized aggression as the attacking team, but it can be helpful. I think what it's going to come down to is grouping up, spawning at the same exact spot and moving in together as a team rather than being spread out. Maybe some 3 of you spawn at the front entrance, 3 of you spawn
yeah,
all the way
I mean,
at the
a lot
elevated
of
part of the map.
Back then, you just had to find your own cams. That's all it is. Yeah. Now there's YouTubers who spend all day looking for them. It's different. But back then, you had to find them yourself.
So while we get this issue sorted out on the main stage, make sure all players are good to go. We're going to run to a short commercial break. When we come back, map number 2 between Era and Continuum will be underway, and we'll be one step closer to finding out who our world champion is.
Just saw your visit for Operation Health, and oh my, you've gained a lot of weight. Thank you. Had to pioneer shit is crazy. I mean, I'm serious. There was just no such thing. There was just no such thing back then. You had to like find everything yourself. Let's see if we can find like a Pojo. If I remember correctly, this was like a tech pause and we couldn't talk. I think. Would I react to my old videos at some point? We could possibly, yeah. GoPro again? No, definitely not. The one thing that I'm really missing, honestly, more than anything from this is back in the day when you used to switch. Look at that. Kappa Pojo's nuts. Switching sides, dude. Switching sides. Old Siege music, yeah. No, I'm not gonna play again, chat. This is, I've talked about it like pretty extensively, but first of all, I enjoy creating content and doing content creation more. It lets me do what I want. Could I probably use my like previous accolades and stream and stuff like that to like kind of force my way onto a team? Sure, I probably could. There's probably some team that I could probably get on or something like that. But I would be taking a spot away from somebody who could do a better job, honestly. I mean, I'm an old man these days. That's it. I just stream and create content. There's someone else who would be better for the job than me. There's me, dude. Old man walking around on the back of the chair, thinking about life. You frag more than most, but you're definitely old. About coaching? No, I don't want to coach either. Listen, I just enjoy being a content creator and spectator of the game, and that's it now. Were the teams that close because of the size of the venue? Did they just I mean, the venue wasn't like massive. You were definitely thinking if you could lift the hammer is too big for you. This old siege is a special place in your heart. I mean, same. There's definitely like, you know, definitely some nostalgia here for sure. Definitely some nostalgia here, dude. You have a bidet, but it started to crack from sitting on and off over the past year. How does mine stand up? It should be good. I basically spent the extra money on mine to use higher quality and thicker materials. So, like, instead of it being like a plastic metal, you know, plastic supply line, I have a metal braid supply line, metal tee, plastic on the back. This part actually separates and comes off, and as you can see, it's like a lot thicker than like your regular, you know, plastic that most of these things come in. Metal fittings on the back. Pretty much like that's, I wanted to spend the extra like money to make it high quality for my bidet. So if you want to buy one, it's Throne Bidet on Amazon. You can just type exclamation bidet in the chat and there's a link. You miss old Siege now, just more of running gun than strategy. I mean, there's definitely still strategy, but...
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Continuum versus Era. Number 2 is underway. It is going to be Border, and well, Continuum already kicking us off with...
I was on Castle.
Installation Workshop. That is an interesting pick from Continuum.
It's a go-to second site for most teams, but
I still remember. I won't spoil it. I won't spoil it.
Throw off everything Era had in mind for their initial defensive.
When you power the buttons of the score in the bidet, it works on the water pressure of your house, similar to how your toilet works. No electricity required.
Balcony door from Era, but that's not the case here. It looks like
it's kind of crazy how Border is still pretty similar. I know it's like a little different now, but it's still pretty similar. Like the rework was still basically more or less the same thing, you know?
Every help you can get is great. And then if you clean them out with a Montane and then go upstairs and plant using that Montane inside a B site, it's a double win.
Biston, thank you for the 14-month resub. Welcome back.
Here. Blackbeard, Thermite, Ibanat, Sledge, and Ash.
I think clearing out roamers with a Montane on a map like Border might not be super feasible because it isn't so much like Chalet. You can coordinate.
Remember when you had to shoot the speakers?
It's the same as
because there is the
Oregon.
Do not attempt to board the medical helicopter. Remember that guy?
There's only one particular avenue to get here, or
otherwise he'd just be screaming the whole round, bro.
To the other half of the map. So you just cut it off as an attacking team and force the defenders into one particular half, and that's what Montane's great at.
Clips was always on the hollow.
But wow,
he was a hollow enjoyer.
The Clips just forcing his way into this into the building.
Yep. So he got droned in through customs. He's got drone information for waiting, and he just very quickly get inside. Now Slash will continue droning a little bit further to feed him some more information. He has had to hold up a little way now because he doesn't know what's coming the other way.
It's interesting how Era is taking this. They're sending Eclipse to just be aggressive onto the site, but the rest of the team, or the rest of his teammates, are just taking TV, trying to establish control on every level of the map.
He is coming up the stairs now, though, as he's looking to support the teammates already up on this floor.
Roy and the Bandit.
From CCTV towards that metal detector.
They actually used to love Bandit.
Right where are you sitting at the moment? I feel like they are looking to try and pin these two Jaeger Bandit combos inside the armory lockers.
I feel like if Eclipse can just keep these two players upstairs and the rest of the team can force their way into A.
I was on cams here, and Young was protecting me while I watched cams for the rest of the team.
So he's holding this angle. He has also got the entire team up on this floor with him at the moment. There's a hole in the floor thanks to breaching open that barbed wire, and Crocs is looking through. He misses the shots, but there's one in the lockers. He's going to go for it. First one picked up.
Crazy shot from Eclipse.
But now MBK is pinned in the corner, and Snake is going to push him straight down for the 2 kills towards Era. They do trade a 1-man out. It is their Ash, but he's used his charges. He's broken his barbed wire, and they got the job done. Now the entirety of the attacking team are up and above the bomb sites.
I remember this, dude. I was so pinched here. It was crazy.
Through the floor as well. 50 seconds to go. There is not a lot of time for this push to start coming on in. George is still sort of revealed here, and Avian will make
Leave me alone!
A quick shot to put him down very low, and his feet are exposed. And that's all Avian's going to need to make this a 4v2.
I remember at the beginning of this game, I had a really rough start, and everybody was like joking that like, because I ended up like doing better like through the match and stuff like that, and everybody was joking that Troy looked over and said that he was going to kill me if I didn't start playing better.
B at the moment, and Sledge wants to go in aggressively. He's confident because it's a 4v2, so he thinks he's safe to come in here. Blackbeard's coming in through one main, Crooks will kill him, and flick across to get a second one. Young's meanwhile picked up Canadian elsewhere, and suddenly this 4v2 became a 2v1. The Crooks is inside the B site, and Snake is now pinned by the door. Has to plant, it's only 3 seconds to go. It's a free kill for the defending team when they find out exactly where he is, and he has to pull off.
A great start of the round for Era and a fantastic finish by Continuum. Necrox in that corner.
Was Canadian IGL back then? We used to both IGL, but Canadian was primary. Yeah, he was primary
now, the
IGL.
first round, which we thought was going to go for Era at the very beginning there, ending up going for.
You gotta have someone that's like the main person, but we used to like kind of like co-IGL. That's why that's why like our positions are like that, so we could be next to each other and talk. Demon Joe Boomer, they jumped 30-month resale back. How are the wife and kids? They're good. They're good. Back then, back in this video, there was no wife and kids,
they probably would have won that round.
Yeah. As it is, they're now on to
had hair. Yep, this game took it from me.
Into that AB
ventilation
downstairs.
over armory. This seems to be a common theme with the North American meta so far.
Their defensive lineup looking very different to that the Continuum brought here, though. They're bringing themselves the Pulse, which we expected Continuum to run on Canadian, and they're bringing the Castle. No Bandits and no Jaeger in this.
Yeah, a lot of destructibility on those floors. It looks like Snake Nade is probably going to try and C4 upwards from the B site instead of attempting to hold.
The lighting was so like nice to look at, I will say.
More at frontal engagements. The
definitely not good. Remember when there were 2 windows here? Forgot about that. No balcony. I knew there. I remember the no balcony, obviously, but.
Running around and scuttling their desired entry points, but they won't come in until that first 3
old border.
The attack can start to begin. Very aggressive peek from K9 out towards the.
That was with the old impact holes.
He takes the Crocs low, but has taken more damage himself. Will now start heading his way back.
Thank you, Twilix. I wouldn't recommend.
Should probably be reset here by Avian, who was waiting for him to come.
Oh yeah, remember resets used to be at 50 HP. But look at K9's health up there. He gets downed. He gets picked up. Half health. But that was the funny thing. You'd have people running back the site to get shot in the leg so that they can get reset to half health. That I'm actually happy they got rid of. That was always so stupid.
They're up against a slightly different operator combo. The Bandit and the Jaeger.
Yeah, the shotguns used to make horrible holes in walls. At this point in time, it was a little better, but it was still pretty bad.
Real-time information to find out exactly where they're coming. He's also got 2
this was the other thing too. Sledge was super inconsistent with making holes.
Shots wrestling through. Then as MBK opens up the wall to the backside of the small office, firing in towards the locker's location itself. Flash down and pinned. Some support here for NBK, but everyone on Era is safely backing away and dropping down towards the site. Minute 40 to go on the clock, and while Continuum don't know that this top floor is clear, they're going to have to take their time to make sure of it. Going to have to take their time to edge their way through because they think there's still defenders pinned in and tucked in lockers. And in reality, they're all back down on the bomb site. Clipped now, starting to make holes by this therm.
The Frost says to reset you every time instead of just killing you. Yeah, that timing.
Just as they run over the top of that hole. But now Continuum realizing the room is clear. The C4 from below though will take Canadian down. There's the revive coming
the double.
Off. Snake gonna call that out, realizing what it is he's looking.
Oh, he has no C4.
Get opened up by Hibana. One hatch already open from that small side office of lockers though. Canadian is hovering above it and again being tracked by Snake.
When your friends asked for resets, it was 50-50 whether you're going to get team killed. If you shot the person in the foot, it would almost always reset them unless, like, I don't know, I mean, there were times where I guess you could have killed somebody. Sledge SMG11, Sledge 2-speed. Oh, man.
Snake's feet are going to be spotted from behind, and MBK will pick up the first kill around. 30 seconds to go. Looking now as to where he can go next. His team are pressuring towards the B side.
Yeah, you can always shoot through the soft wall. That would guarantee the reset. I fried somebody. Fried Slash.
Flashbang's coming from the B side from Blackbeard, and he's now going to go on in. Avian tucked around one corner. Eclipse is going to the outside peak, but Avian picked up 2 as well before KingGeorge will answer him himself. K9 through the wall, shuts down NBK, and now Necrox is alone against 2. He's already very low from that peak earlier on. The man that did it is inside this toilet. He's looking for him. Round to the right-hand side, he sees him. Can't get the kill, and they run out of time.
Great defense from Era.
I remember at this point, it was like a little grim.
Aggression in the middle of the round there made it look a little bit closer than it was from Slash. But a victory nonetheless for Era. Now the interesting thing about that particular bomb site is from the entire north side of the building there is only one window that you can enter the building from.
The
so
golf
what are
claps.
the attackers forced to do? Either take from the other, take from the south, or move their way upstairs and try to take from above. And that's what both of these teams seem to be doing. Continuum were a little bit more aggressive, and they lost 2 players up there, but Era being extremely passive, defaulting off of the upstairs defense to try and just anchor in the site.
This is the one.
Doctrines working for these teams.
There's one round where I like hit a disgusting shot.
Standardized bomb site. We're upstairs. So where are you going to set this up? Continuum bringing themselves the castle this time over. Still not bringing that pulse though. Canadian staying with a very mobile operator in the form of
Look at that perfect synchronization.
Looking for that heartbeat sensor.
It's really interesting that they're not bringing a pulse on a map like Border. It kind of seems like the perfect map to bring.
Do I miss paying professionally? No, not really anymore.
Well, if you are directly under the person, yeah.
Back when Castle didn't have a shotgun, there were no secondary shotguns at this point, by the way. No secondary shotguns. Impact grenades had just come out, like, fairly recently.
Absolutely right.
So,
may not be as comfortable with it, but
how often do we practice? Every day.
Do it right. KingGeorge using these castle barricades there on that locker window. It's not the most valuable one, but it gets it done. It slows them down a little bit more. Snake makes his way all the way up to the very top roof. It's not often you see players go up there. Into CCTV, they move.
Predictions?
They
No.
were both droned as they stepped across that gap. So the knowledge is there for the attacking team. Can they do anything useful with it? Can they get it open?
We already know how this ends.
Still up on the roof.
Yeah, I want to bet on this from 2017, honestly. I really do.
The office. Dug deep inside CCTV.
This drone was so good up here, by the way. Everyone used to use it.
Know where it is. It's rare to have it in this gap up here.
Yeah, CTM seem to be slotting themselves up for that aggression that we saw from them last time.
Ooh, Lornade chat.
Blowing right underneath NBK. He does change his mind and back away. As this means the second
didn't really hit him very much. Lornades at this point in time were really inconsistent because there was no splash damage, by the way. So when they added splash damage, Lornades became super powerful. They actually used to take some skill to use at this point in time. The Flornades that everybody remembers and thought were so skillful and missed, they were comically easy to use. Comically easy. This period of time, Flornades were actually difficult to use because you had to actually have it blow up on the floor perfectly. There was no splash damage.
MVK is there, and he does decide to start spraying through the wall. Does tag this Blackbeard a lot, but is now down and low himself. Slash prone behind the side, and MVK will get him as he stands up and get Avian with a double headshot.
Let's go, Nate.
Looking now to duck away as the shots are rattling in from outside. And
let's go.
Himself as he runs away for MVK's third. There is still a down Canadian right there behind him, and when he feels safe enough, MVK will surely pick him up, and safe is now. The last attacker is miles away from these two, hiding right off there as K9 is in the staircase. He's looking for them to come out the doorway in a possible rotate away, but with 45 seconds and 5 to find, he can't afford to be much more passive than he is. This is almost certainly a continuum round. MVK will fall to him, but now they know exactly where he is, and they can shape up their defense and their
30
locations to fit
seconds.
him. He is now going to start to head over towards the bomb sites and try and make his way in, but Canadian's fallen all the way back.
ACOG for Castle? Castle did not have an ACOG back at this time.
Because of it. 20 seconds to go now. He's still got
he had
plenty of health,
hollow.
Still got plenty of ammo, but as it ticks over to 15, he's still walking through his main corridor and has no real chance of getting inside any of the sites, even just with straight time. He can't even run through the barbed wire in the speed. Will save his KD8.
Barb used to be really good back at this time.
That castle barricade will just ensure we tick down.
He's saving the up for the next round.
And move on to round number 4.
An excellent round.
The ump was the worst gun in the game. Yes.
Duo in the monitors. They read Era like a book. They knew they were going to try and take monitors and push their way into the A wall, and they said, no, sorry, you can't do that.
It was actually horrible.
As they push on upstairs. The attack line up here from Continuum. Again, very familiar.
A common theme here so far on this particular map, defense has been winning every single round.
Isn't it like the second worst gun now?
Seems like the attacks are not as concise as they need to be, not as organized, not as together.
BB shield, he used to only have one shield, but it had 60 HP at this time. It was still pretty good, hence why it's being used, but it wasn't like, this wasn't the 150 HP shield or 800 that everybody remembers as being super good.
I almost feeling confident in the way they're playing this map.
I feel this might be a
last
little bit
map
weird
is
to say,
Skyscraper,
like,
yeah.
Montaigne on both of these teams would be incredibly useful, just giving them that confidence to push straight into the enemy defenders.
I would really have liked to see it here from Continuum, if I'm completely honest. They're going to go upstairs as this side now.
Young used to be like one of the best shield players in the world, probably the best shield player in the world.
Here, we have a Rook and a Doc.
But he used to play Recruit Shield.
2 1-speeds. That's not.
You guys remember Recruit Shield?
And even on top of that, a Castle and a Mute. This is the probably the oddest lineup we've seen so far in this entire weekend.
See, look how terrible the shotgun holes were.
Most teams have been
and you didn't have as much shotgun ammo, so you actually had to be like kind of careful how you were using your shotguns. Continuum versus Santos X Series, your favorite Continuum match in Siege? Maybe we'll watch that one back at a different time.
Right. Being those very tanky,
we could. That one was a really good game.
There and stare at him in the face until someone looks around it would help counter that nicely. So perhaps Continue not choosing to bring it, a good thing. They do also have that smoke, which helps to lock things out of sights, and that B door is a very challenging one to get through when Eclipse is throwing smoke grenades.
Yep, shotguns were basically a Rooney's melee, and you only had, I think, like 30 shells total. So you had to be like kind of careful.
And aggressively got him down inside that east staircase to kick the ball rolling here for Era's defense.
Remember that aggression we talked about from Continuum? Well, there it is from Era. Both of these teams extremely aggressive.
Jammers all around as holes are being made inside the wall towards main corridor. Sightlines being pushed through for everyone. Canadian underneath that wall there will breach charge the floor to make sure there's a lack of mute charges or batteries or whatever it may be to stop them thermiting the wall open. And now Necrox can head on forward over there and they can start putting some real pressure in. KingGeorge holding the diffuser at the moment.
Yeah.
And he is often safe.
That was a pretty crazy match too.
Make sure no one's going to run outside that front door while they're repelling and trying to put some pressure in towards 8. And Necrox is now deciding it's time to start opening up some holes and actually push onto Lockers. Still a minute 30.
I think we were doing this to like bait out.
That's not particularly quick, especially not from what we've seen these guys be doing.
To bait out if they had a bandit or not. Oh yeah, I forgot you could just put the thermite charge right over the Habana pellets back then. Look at that.
To really make their way in here and attempt to plant. Avian sprints through the gap, and Canadian not quite awake enough to land the shots. Not a single bullet lands. Whoa. Jammer will be picked off, with Canadian very brazenly peeks on in. Avian though, as he tries to pull back into the small office, is picked up by Young here, and Canadian
just ran in, dude.
To take shape for Continuum. They are on a minute. Canadian gets another one onto Snake. 2 defenders left, one Eclipse, one K9, a Rook and a Smoke, and they're off inside office. K9 looking to slug his way
Troy used to be on Ash, yeah.
The metal detectors inside that small office now. Canadians looking
Troy used to be on Ash. We used to be like, part of the reason that we were like, you know, friends and stuff like that, and teammates and all that, is we both were IGLs on Ash. Obviously, one of us had to get on Hard Breach, so I didn't mind. I think that Troy was a better Ash player than I was, so that's why I hopped on when we were picking roles when I joined the team. That's why I played Thermite.
2 kills in the end there was fantastic. Era just couldn't stop the AWOL aggression. And the way that continues.
Fabian has 3, yeah. 2 as a player, 1 as a coach. Canadian has 2, I have 1.
Great reaction from the crowd here.
Oh. Downstairs again, go Continuum. Looking for that ventilation workshop again. Last time they won it through a timeout. They run it through holding firm. And great round from the Crocs as they tried to jump on in the last couple of seconds. He picked up an important double kill.
And while Continuum did just win the first attack round of this map, if the trend continues, especially on this ventilation, I think most of these ventilation defenses have been incredibly one-sided. If the trend continues,
your playstyle says you're a better Thermite than Ash. I think so too. I think so too. But I mean, funny enough, before this I was known for playing Ash.
They are finishing their last couple of rounds of setup. They have brought themselves Castle to the table and locking up a couple of important walls with him. NVK and Canadian though back on the Bandit Jaeger combo, and I suspect we'll be finding them on the floors above. 5 seconds left.
Was diffusing shorter in ranked? I think it was like 4 seconds or something, and then in rolling settings it was 7.
Just trading them out.
Remember, you used to get a full 2 seconds before you got detected, and there was the yellow like screen that you would get.
They couldn't get rid of those anchors.
Look at this, dude.
They didn't drone out.
I missed that kind of. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of missed that, dude. Oh, the runouts were so fun.
Heads back inside the site, or rather above the site, to a safe location.
See, look how fast Snake was able to shoot.
Do you even click, bro?
Yeah, apparently so.
That was not a macro. He's doing that on land, in person. The guns had no fire rate cap, and Snake was really good at like spamming that.
Just hammer it open. But allows him to get a little bit of
I was pretty good at spamming the DMR too, but like he was definitely better at it. And the thing is, I couldn't like aim when I was shooting it that fast. But he actually was able to accurately aim.
Does get droned out inside that side office now, and they are cautious about it. Eclipse waiting for the call. Where does he need to go? Where does he want to put it? Because this time NPK and Canadian aren't actually above the site specifically anymore. They've moved over in towards the office on the right-hand side. And while Avian and K9 are droning it and getting that
information. Oh, butterflying? I know what it is. I played paintball, Padip. I also played on a team with Snake.
Yeah, they have a presence, but they're not able.
Oh, NPK peeks around. Snake thinks it's clear enough to walk above the B-bomb, and he will be wrong. Another big kill for NPK to come through, and now he's holding.
That's where it comes from. It comes from playing paintball.
K9 leaping on in there. He's going to be able to start blowing the hatch as he stays inside that room, but the shots are coming through the wall from Eclipse. He does take MVK low. He's going to go for the aggressive peek straight back, and Eclipse dances around. He didn't see him on that corner, and MVK is going to push out on him on the reload. Misses the shot, though, and will fall down to Eclipse.
Dude, the death animations were so crazy back then.
The next drone's going to head around the corner, and it hasn't spotted where Canadian is hiding at the moment. He doesn't seem to realize exactly where he is. He's led them
Avian misdroned.
Anyway.
Eclipse was actually just so crazy, dude. I honestly think Eclipse should still be playing today.
This is the situation they were in before. Tried to push too late, tried to push too quickly and aggressively onto Necrox's site, and he picked up a very important double kill. Now they had KingGeorge, or had KingGeorge to help them out. Slash takes him down, and they can start using from above. Necrox jumps on outside, but as he comes back in, Slash will take that one for free, and Young is now alone against 4 with 30 seconds to hold. Hiding deep inside this toilet side, and the floor above him is open as well, so Slash will take himself a second.
So I think this is the clip right here where I think there's like, this became like a meme. Pojo made this into a meme. I want to say it's right here. Hold up.
Entire round to Eclipse, dealing with both of those roamers.
Fantastic round from him indeed. Ventilation Workshop looking right back on us again. This is definitely the theme for this game.
I think this is the clip. Let's see.
Sites yet. Be surprised if they bring them out any moment later on as well. Now it's time for the Continuum to go back onto attack. Canadian's still unsure about what it is he wants to play.
I think this might have been it.
A couple of important rounds with
I don't know. Pojo made that into a meme of like, I think he put like a little bubble above like Canadian's like face there, and he's like, if KingGeorge isn't gonna kill here, I'm gonna kill him or something like that.
Now, again, ventilation, aggression.
For me, it was the next round. I don't remember. I forgot.
Has to come from the south of the building now.
It was pretty funny though, because I had a really rough start to this map. I remember that.
What I'd like to see, maybe, possibly, is to come from the west, and, or sorry, rather, the east and the south, and try to move your way in through the bathroom into A site. Something just a little bit different, maybe unexpected from Era.
Era setting up the defenses on the floor above, using their castle blow. Era,
remember when there was all, oh my gosh, man.
But then they very quickly fell back.
All like the ambient sounds, the metal detector used to go off forever, and then it wouldn't go off if he went through it again.
Safety, and they let them burn a minute of their own time with no real threat there anymore. This time around, are they going to do a similar thing? Are they going to stay and fight a little bit longer? I would like to see some more aggression from them. They are the team that are down around. Maybe
this is back when you needed a 3.5 floppy disk to play. Real.
See what they choose to do as Continuum do start to drone on in through the east staircase and swarm this top floor with drones.
And I have a feeling that every Era member who's on the top floor is probably going to fall back to the site as soon as they see those
yeah,
drones,
this was Red Crow.
Continuum are aware of their presence there.
The question is, will they get all of them, or will they be droned as they fall back through the hatch again too? Canadian dropping on downstairs as Young will start opening up the window, spraying through the gap.
Operation George head hair? Oh my god, bro.
Oh, no.
Slash takes down Young, and that's a big deal with
us. You said you wanted to see aggression.
Yep, and it's right there. Slash now firing towards the east stairs. He cannot hit the prone player that's at the far end, but he doesn't take much damage himself either. Trying to bait out more shots, find out if he's there. Gets the kill, this time on NVK. This is exactly what I wanted to see as Slash starts to step it up. Eclipse has been downed over by the side of lockers, but he was a grenade in through the window from no grenades over there. I'm not sure how he was downed indeed.
Maybe he was
outside. Charge up against the window. As it is, Canadian will claim the kill regardless as he goes on through. It is still 3v4 though, as the attackers have lost a lot of players as Slash's play upstairs. They have chosen to try and ignore
Slash was going crazy.
Yeah, and no progress at all has been made.
The lighting was different. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
Really aggressive there, but Slash will trade him straight back.
Slash was having a round here.
Oh, Slash finally taken out. Necrox is still on this floor. Canadians below, and we're in a 2v2 now with 1:14 to go. There's actually a lot of time for this to work out here for Continuum. Charges going off. Necrox on that.
The game was a little faster back then, yeah. By the way, the reason he's not putting 4 pellets on the hatch is because you only could put 6. There was no option to do 2, 4, 6 pellets. So some people, I remember, are like, why are they using 6 pellets on a hatch? Because you couldn't do anything else.
Seem to have any drones left. They're not trying to find where these last 2 are. Camera take now. K9 in the back has been taken out by Canadian. Now and it's a 1v2 with Avian here to try and hold off the match point to continue. We're trying to plant. He's watching the front side towards B, and he's made the right call as they are rotating back and around. He sees Canadian, but he can't land the headshot that he needed. Now the second one's there, and they're going to get through and into the side. He's in, and they weren't ready, but Necrox trades it.
Traded out.
Continuum are on match point.
A great clutch by Necrox and Canadian, and Continuum in general. A 2 versus 4.
It only took 1 to break it back then, too. It only took 1 to break it, but you didn't have, like, the option to shoot less than 6. You guys remember how buggy... I don't know if you noticed that, but when Necrox shot that set of Habana pellets, he shot a set before that, and they just didn't work. That used to actually be a thing. Like, you would shoot 6 Habana pellets, because that's the only option you had was to shoot 6, and they would just disappear and not work, and you just have to shoot another set. That's what he did.
Head on over to Skyscraper any moment now.
That last round from Continuum is really kind of scary to me at the same time. Yes, it shows that they have a lot of individual players' skill, but I'm not sure what that
was actually
meant
4 and 4 at this
point. They were very
point.
spread out. They were getting picked off by the roamers, and they weren't moving in together
somehow.
As a team. It was just kind of a seek out the engagements one by one.
I feel like I've been playing terrible. Like,
end up in the end, again,
I did play like the absolute like bitch rolls though. At this point, I remember this.
So Canadian and friends setting up in office.
Somehow I'm 4 and 4 though.
In his hand. George over there with Castle as well. They're setting up a nice little spot for him to hide in the corner, but last time, despite not getting droned,
oh yeah, there was the hatch was over there for bathroom. I forgot about that.
A lot of reinforcements and a lot
I also used to have hair.
over towards this office side of the map. But Terra traditionally
Exec? Yeah, I miss Exec, dude. Exec was the man.
I think, or at least not attention that gets stopped by any of that. They're just running through the door.
I think the reason that CTM is investing so many resources over on this end of the map is that typically they'll have those 2 roamers, Canadian and MBK, play in monitors, and that way you have, yes, utility on one end of the map, but players on the other end of the map. And well, it's interesting.
Old Hollow, man.
That they're not doing that this time. And maybe they're trying to bait Era into an office's take. Maybe they don't expect.
Did we have a team house?
For a monitor take.
No, bro. What do you mean?
The lack of success they had last round.
We didn't even have a salary. Actually, no, on Continuum we had a salary. It was really, like, small. And we were, like, the only team that got paid.
It's not the most impactful operator as far as gadgets go, but a great fragger and a great player in Slash to lose so early on in the round.
That posture's the posture of a day enjoyer? Hell yeah, dude.
We're looking to open up later on, or rather, Hibana will be. They don't have a thermite. They've switched it out for that fuse, which they did use when they attacked the basement in their last round, but not to any real significant effect. Didn't really take many firefights.
You also couldn't fuse hard walls at this point.
Fuse anything too significant. But
I think this is the round. There's one round where I had like an insane shot on Castle. I think it was this one.
Open up a walk wall or a crouch wall, but it's still, again, it's a really small hole. There's not a lot of.
No, Continuum had no sponsors.
She has opened it up. There's
all that barb, dude.
Inside. She finds Canadian prone in the back of the lockers. They do still have an Ash downstairs, and if that communication gets over quickly, these Ash charges from below, exactly where Eclipse is going right now, underneath Canadian. Does he land it in the right spot? Has Canadian moved far enough to be safe? Does Eclipse even have any charges left? He's run in there and run straight back out again, so I don't believe he does.
The whole attack team spawning one location was not so enjoyable. Oh yeah, that did suck. Forgot that that was even a thing.
Avian throws the flashbangs in. They've already taken out the trophies. Canadian is holding very tight. They can see just about a pixel of each other. Canadian though stays in as K9's drone jumps in and
The
lands on his head, so
perspective
he
for
has to
the
slip over and
spectator
roll that
was
out. Avian
different,
throws
by the
another
way.
flashbang
So
in
like there
from
was
right
probably
Canadian, and
client
that's
side
gonna give him a
debris
chance to
there
rush on
more
in.
than likely.
KingGeorge though will hope the cover and take Snake down. Avian comes around and KingGeorge
There we
comes down
go.
with two. Cautious of the window, but
Old
there's no
man
one
hitting
there.
some
Air's gonna
shots.
lose another
And that
player,
one I
and
destroyed
Canadian is now the
Eclipse.
last
I
man
remember
standing.
that.
He's got to kill
I still remember
remaining
that.
standing players, and he starts with Canadian in a quick shot to lockers. There's one down over the far side. The others are all now over towards B looking for him. Sees the one. Young's there, but it's not going to be enough. The Croc rounds off map 2. We'll be heading to Skyscraper.
An excellent job by CTM in that last round. Holding their site, holding true. Era, unfortunately, unable to push into the site in any concise manner. Get a little bit too spread out and losing their engagements overall. And that Ash from underneath, not using her Ash.
Skyscraper time.
I can only think she must have run out, or they wanted to try and save them maybe for the barbed wire on the inside of that.
There was a lot of barbed wire.
But then they just sprinted her in over the
I
barbed
wish I
wire
would have
anyway,
caught
so
that
if you were
that
using
kill
it
that I
for
got on
it,
Eclipse.
time to actually do it. I'm
Dude,
very confused with
that clip, that shot that I hit, I remember it was so insane
bag with
that
some
like
very
why am I standing up here? I don't remember.
different strategies and ideas on how to hold.
Did they want to
simple?
Did they want to check my PC after that? Oh yeah, it was the coin flip for the last map.
From my opinion, it looked.
There we are.
I'm joking.
At that coin flip on the screen right now. Of course, overtime, third map, so to speak. We do need
Troy
to
had the
decide who starts
sweats.
on what side. Each have had a chance to start an attack and defense in the previous 2 maps. The previous ones were chosen. All going to come down of our start and finish sides on this one. Let's see who's calling it. Coin goes up. Canadian called it. No idea whether that's heads or tails. I'm going to guess it's heads because there's a skull on it. We'll find out in a moment where it is they choose to start. But they are still thinking on it. They haven't got it in mind. They don't know.
I think on a map like Skyscraper,
I still have that
start
hoodie
on
that's on our
defense, given that
chairs.
it's a map that, you know, you have to have a little bit of knowledge on to execute an attack. Woo indeed.
Hyping it up, dude.
Canadian definitely got the crowd behind him this time over. So as they set it on up,
Pushing old geisha.
Let's talk about those few moments on board that you were talking about, those simple strategies.
So
They
simple
saw it
strategies on
CCM
board.
had 4 players. Listen,
again, it's
dude.
just rather new map,
Listen.
not super practice, and that's why we saw, I think, a lot of defensive wins because you have all these particular, you know, strats holding these sites and execute or putting together an attack strat to get rid of, like, to take care of it is something that you have to have practice on, and clearly both of these teams didn't really have that. Going into Skyscraper, it's an even newer map.
Look at that hair, dude. Look at that youthful splendor in my eyes.
All right, we'll find out whether or not that pays off.
I have that
Of course,
hoodie
the
still, by the way.
Server chosen map, it was the 3rd remaining.
Who are my
one.
teammates? NVK. Then there's me. You can see there.
The fact that it's a preferred one for
Canadian,
everyone
Young,
choosing,
Necrox.
saying, "Got
It makes sense that neither of these teams banned it. It's,
Earbuds in the
it is pretty
headset.
practiced in the North American scene.
It's because you would always put earbuds, and then those headphones were noise canceling,
As they are
and they
sitting
would
here,
have
Continuum
pump white
starting
noise to
on
them, so you
defense.
couldn't hear
That makes sense.
anything.
That should be the advantage. That's the possible team to have a leg up with the.
No, I think those were like Samsung earbuds or something. They were actually really good. I remember I tried other headphones and stuff, and those were just good, so I kept using them.
Barbecue you hold from in the site and above. Tea room you hold from purely in the site. Holding from below is possible, but it's not typically seen. But here's some highlights from the last map on border.
Yeah, this big round there from Necrox hiding inside that B side, picking up 2. This attack from Continuum above on this one, which was again low and
MVK. I still see him get on siege every once in a while, but
explodes within the 30 seconds after MVK picked up that first round. And these rounds like this that he pulls out time and time again, dodging through those bullets on the window.
dude, I still remember Castle was so ass back then. Like, as bad as Castle is now, he was 10 times worse. And Jaeger used to be crazy. Rook was crazy. Smoke was crazy. Like, every other character in the game was, like, crazy. But there had to be, like, someone had to do it. So, I pretty much...
Tough one to go through, but
I sacrificed.
We saw from Continuum to take the win. And, well... means they will go in with the momentum behind them towards Skyscraper. We talked a little bit.
I did get to play Valkyrie a lot, though. Valkyrie was good.
Thermite
Thermite was also extremely ass back then. Like, Thermite's good now. Like, Thermite is super dog shit at this point. Like, his gun had insane recoil, and it ADS really slowly compared to, like, every other gun in the game. Like, playing Thermite was legitimately, like, a punishment. It was terrible.
If you're gonna take trophy room, you're gonna take it from
compared to now. Thermite's great nowadays. Like, he's pretty much a fragging operator now.
Very commonly played. I think on that particular site, you can bring a Frost, which is going to deny the window access, and then just tons of barbed wire, which is going to deny the hallway access and the stairs access. But again, teams don't go there. I think they're just more familiar and common with T-Room and Barbecue. It might not be that those are two better
Would I agree that most EU teams are better than NA teams? I don't think so, no. I mean, at least based on the last event, I mean, Europe is really just BDS. That's it.
Played a whole lot. Maybe one of these teams has practiced it a little bit more than the other, and we'll see.
This is the Bandit Geisha hold, dude.
Number 3.
This is the Bandit Geisha hold. This is what I was always known for.
Champion will be crowned by the end of this map.
Look at that floor, dude. High polish. High polish.
Yeah. And we're gonna see. Looks like a very common setup. They're opening up the floor or the wall on the foot level in B, trying to hold it from the A site. Don't need to play any members of the defensive team in there.
I actually had my best seasons in the next like 2 seasons after this, funny enough.
They can open up that B wall with Hibana and get easy line
My best seasons were actually after this.
There's only 2 walls reinforced there on the side of Karaoke.
Do I think PSG will do anything big? I mean, they have Fabian coaching them, so they have the best coach in the game right now. So if anyone can help them do it, it's Fabian.
Some windows ready to jump on out, looking for these aggressive
Montaigne
later on.
Just noticed it.
Doing them. We do have
Old Sky, dude. Old Sky was so much prettier than New Sky. Look how nice it looks. Remember, this wall was open. Oh, I completely forgot about this.
On the opposite team to the one we just saw, which is Era in the previous matchup. So it's interesting to see that Continuum are bringing forward. I think it's something.
I mean, I'd like to see Sonics win because of Merc and stuff like that. You know, I love Merc.
Okay, we're not.
I've known Merc for a really long time.
Maybe let's take a little bit farther back.
I mean, I don't know. I'd be pretty surprised to see Sonics like rolling everybody.
He's gonna be kind of in the opposite.
I think they'll be a good team. I think they had a bad. I think they had a bad run this like last season and stuff, and I think they'll do better. But I don't. I mean, I don't think they'll like win necessarily.
And I think what Continuum is probably going to have.
I'm Bandit in this situation. I'm playing Geisha. If I remember correctly, I don't even think they really went for Geisha very much because I was literally known at this time of like, basically you're never getting me out of Geisha. Like it's never, you know. I forgot though. They might have ended up pushing. It's been so long I don't remember.
I like the idea of that hole because
that outside wall, dude.
They know what they're trying to do, what Era is trying to do with this push.
The old F2, by the way, was the craziest gun ever. It had 1,000 fire rate, and I think it did like 52 damage.
It's a common jump out, and Snake was waiting for it.
And now it's 5 versus 2 with 5 versus.
This was
3
in 2017, yeah.
They haven't even started their push yet.
5 versus 2 now. Canadians taken out, and the push is underway inside the A side.
I still remember they kept doing this push, this Montaigne push.
KingGeorge left. He's already very low, and there's 4 players waiting around that corner for him. Very nice attack from Era to get us rolling.
A little bit too much aggression from CTM. I almost feel like they should have played a little bit more, very conserved on that particular map. It is Karaoke. You can easily anchor and continue. Era. They know what they're doing with that Montaigne, pushing straight into the A site. There's nothing that really that Continuum brought to stop them.
It did 52 damage. Yeah, 52 damage, 1,000 fire rate.
Piece of barbed wire. I was expecting a little bit more. Especially considering you.
I think I remember at this point, if I'm not mistaken, I was telling them like, let's like anchor up, play closer. They're playing aggressive.
Era then onto defense themselves now, and look at this. They are bringing that T-Room Karaoke to the table too. But
so
have brought a lot more C4 to the table.
If I'm not mistaken, I rember this. I think on this map I used to like IGL most of it, and Troy did I'm thinking they're gonna try Consulate. I did.
Probably.
And then I think Troy did border.
If that's
We used to like switch off on maps and stuff like that, but we would
Habana,
work
but
together.
We'll find out. Maybe they're going to take from the east side of the building. A lot of teams, what they'll do is they'll clear the entire building, starting
Old
at the east
Geisha,
side,
dude. Old Geisha was so nice.
Shield placed to cover that Geisha doorway from the person in A. Leave them a hole in the wall, let them peek out. It's a nice idea.
That's a really interesting rotation hole we just saw there in A. I'm not sure that leaving that window open is actually going to be to the advantage of the defenders, but I'm sure
dude,
they
Old
must have a plan
Terrace.
for it.
They have something.
Old Terrace was so nice.
Have that hole in the wall, which means if they lose drum, that
I remember he had this cam out here
Looking at this,
so that he could shoot people through the wall.
What did we see from Continuum last time on their defense? They opened up that wall on the east side of the building preemptively to try and take care of that Montaigne push. Era have done the same thing, but not preemptively. They have Valkyrie with camera outside, ready to open up the wall with her own C4. So it's going to be a little bit more of a surprise.
So Snake Heartbeat sends it outside this window, spotted the sledge as soon as Sledge.
Was I on Twitch here? I don't even remember that.
On his way back up the staircase, realizing they're not going to leap in there aggressively, so his position can move.
I have the USA charm on, dude. See? A Patriot even back then, chat. Always and forever.
Slash was downstairs. Jumps on out aggressively. Free kill for Necrox. Picks that one up with a little bit of health missing himself. Meanwhile, Snake has lost quite a bit too. BK will open the door up. Necrox a little bit surprised by it, but there is no one there.
They told Slash, go onto the east side of the building, peek out on the attacking operators, and he got maybe just a little bit too aggressive there.
Yeah, we saw it.
Let's see.
Later rounds.
What are we doing here? I honestly don't remember like pretty much any of this.
In these rounds, but calculate a little bit better when to do it here on Skyscraper. Worked on border, but not working here just yet. Still only on the second round.
Grizzlies and Tears watching this, so nostalgic.
Let's continue. Have all 5 operators left up, and Snake is lacking a lot of health. Avian trying to be the man to hold off the side of Geisha. Those smoke grenades, he'll be able to do it for a while, but not completely, as he no longer has all 3 left.
Snake's been playing the finals and stuff lately. Well, hey, hopefully he does good over there.
Avian right on the other side here. He's going to have Canadian meets him, and Canadian will win. Snake is on that back staircase with his heartbeat sensor. There's the shield in the wall, which will allow Eclipse to peek on out, but lose the fight to Canadian all the same. K9 now inside one site. Pulse has moved from the staircase in towards drum room now. Peeks on up, and that means Canadian's going to know where it is he came from. Here the leaps up and over. K9 has been down inside the A site, and now there's only one defender left up from Era. And even
then I got a kill.
Shut him out from that same window that Snake himself picked up a kill earlier on in the round.
That early aggression from Slash, putting them
watching my videos in your first round was a big help. Nice. Dude, the F2 was so good. It was crazy. This is when the muzzle brake was broken. I forgot if this was during the period of time where it was super broken. There was a point of time, though, where the muzzle brake was just super OP. Like, you should never run anything but the muzzle brake.
Second floor karaoke's Hero Room all the same, though.
Yeah,
which is going to be interesting.
I mean, you talked about
BB was not super broken at this time, but he was like still really good. He had 1 shield, not 2 like he has now, but it had 60 health. Instead of right now they have 20. So you have 2 20 HP shields. Back then you had 160. So there were 3-4 eras of BB. When he initially came out, he had 1 shield that was 800 HP. Then they lowered it to 150 HP. Then they lowered it to 60 HP. And then they gave him 2 shields with 20 HP. So that was kind of like, and during this time he had 60.
It would be great with the traps to stop the Montaigne, but let's see if we can do it one more time with a normal defense. We've still got 4 rounds before we end up losing completely. Do it one more normally. If it doesn't work, we'll do it next time.
Right.
There it is. Their setups now swarm this end with
a lot of barb. I remember this where like if they're gonna push with the Monty, let's load up the barb.
Another option, another way to do it.
So interestingly, so far on Skyscraper compared to Border, it's been the complete opposite. On Border, all the defense rounds were won.
Remember in prep phase when you could actually still shoot each other? It's on Willie's. Dude, that was one of the best quality of life changes that they ever put in.
Here, everyone knows what they're doing on attack. Era, they have a specific idea on their attack. They push their Montaigne straight on into A, and Continuum, as of yet, have not figured out how to stop it. If this is the round to win this map, it's going to be because they can stop that Montaigne push for Continuum.
Claymore's placed in front of windows. Jump out's going to be denied because of those, and that leaves Era chance to swoop it back. heading towards the B window. Blackbeard will open it up and then once again begin to
actually dropping someone to 60 HP.
Sights. Rotating holes are still safe. The rest of Era once again using that Montaigne over by this
They're still using that Monty.
Now, as I said, they're greeted by a lot more barbed wire, greeted by a lot more resources from the defending team, trying to keep them outside. Very static defense so far from Continuum. MVK not aggressively peeking the other side like he did before. They are waiting for these attackers to reveal themselves. They've got a good number on what it is the attack's going to be, where it's going to come from. As a result,
you gotta remember too, part of the reason that BB still got played, even if like maybe he wasn't like as good, is a lot of it is because remember there weren't as many operators either. There weren't as many operators. Imagine that the only operators that exist are from Habana backwards. Habana was the newest operator in Echo.
More barbed wire inside. Young, you have to shut down the drone as he checks more of this A site. Back off as he leaves it there. Eclipse has come over and joined. Bounces off.
And remember, barbed wire used to be like insane as well too.
Behind him as well, and now Eclipse is looking to prone on
I think he used to take 3 hits at this point. I'm pretty sure.
Into the A site. Young is being pinned right back in the far corner because of it. Grenades rattling over. Impact nades trying to shake Slash out, but he's still got a lot of health, and he's being allowed to walk closer and closer to this pinned Rook. Hipfire will tag him.
And the hipfire was really accurate on Monty back then.
That's an issue here for Slash. MVK has finally peeked out and taken down Eclipse. Young's going to push forward for him. Doesn't get the stumble, and Slash is going to get the knife kill. But the smoke's immediately there from Necrox to shut him out. 3v3 now. Snake, K9, and Avian are still up. KingGeorge, MVK, and Necrox.
You're surprised Echo wasn't being played as much?
I
forgot why. I want to say there was a bug with Echo.
South side of the building while the attackers are all coming from the north.
That you weren't like allowed to play him or use like a lot of different different like aspects and stuff.
Snake comes on in and MVK is there for it. Avian now the last man doesn't have time, and Continuum will hold again.
Necrox.
A great hold by Continuum. Arrow only getting 1 pick before pushing their Montaigne all the way into the site.
Yep, this was back in the day when they released 2 ops in each season.
And as such, Continuum, all they had to do was wait for the inevitable push from the soft targets coming in through the windows. I think a lot of that round.
I don't know why we didn't play Echo.
To do with the barbed wire.
Because he was like pretty good back then.
Time now for Arrow.
I feel like maybe we weren't allowed to. I don't remember. I do remember we had like a talk at the beginning of the tournament because there were some like major bugs in the game, and like we were not allowed to use the things that they told us. They told us basically like if we use any of these like certain like operators bugs, whatever, then they would just like ban us from the game. So I don't remember if Echo was part of that or not, but considering it doesn't get played at all in this finals, maybe that was one of them.
I'm surprised that they're not bringing a castle on this particular site. If you're going to hold above, you're going to try and hold Geisha, right? And it's nice to have that castle barricade on the window to slow them down.
Well, to be fair, that was one of the admins that was a troll. I don't know if they actually would have banned us or whatever, but it was one of the admins that used to just always kind of troll us. So he might have just been saying that to make sure. There was a drone where the bug was completely invisible and indestructible. That's probably why then. Fire God, thank you the 29-month resale back to you. Finally win the Invitational, George. Well done, proud of you. Thank you, thank you. That's probably why, yeah. I remember there was something crazy like that.
As you mentioned before,
it's not really their thing.
More confidence in their play without on this map. Takes out the Evo camera and is straight up opening windows into the sites. So a window that is easily covered from inside though, and I don't expect to see him jump in too quickly. And MVK is there watching it in case of a jump out.
There are 2 very common ways that Continuum could take this particular site. They could come from the southeast, the door next to MVK right there, and push their way straight on into the kitchen. Or they could try and take above.
I think Twitch only had 1 drone at this period of time, but it had 15 shots and they each did like 10 damage.
Herded back in towards the sites.
Who MVP'd the event?
Player upstairs is going to have to make a big impact here.
I don't remember. I want to say it was Canadian or MVK.
Pick their time back down fast. They need to pick their time back down right. Otherwise, they will just lose control of the site and be cleaned off on their rotate back through. As it is, though, this is a great angle here from K9 all the way across the bar, and he's going to have a couple of people possibly step into his sight line. Whether or not he can land the shots that will make the difference. Slash is still rattling off some fire upstairs. You can hear his MPX going off, but no one's taking any serious damage. No one's really seemed too bothered by what it is he's shooting at. Canadian repelling on that window looks into Geisha, but again,
I still remember we had this specific strat set up, like open those like long angles and stuff.
To be in the Crocs.
Trip down memory lane. Yeah, it is, dude.
A lot of these CTM players have fantastic lines of sight into where they think a defender might be, but unfortunately, Era is playing a little bit too conservatively, not peeking out at all. They're just trying to whittle down the time as much as possible, and so far they've been successful. Only 1 minute left on the clock here for CTM's attack, and only the first pick coming out.
Avian down inside the site, but MVK will then take off Snake. Avian is down inside the smoke, and MVK is not 100% sure, so they're still cautious. They're going inside. Kanan's still holding this angle. Doesn't attack MVK as he moves into the site. Avian's been finished now by Canadian, and it is 5 attackers v3. Eclipse, though, will trade back by taking Young out and start to even the numbers up a bit more, but Slash takes off into Crocs. Slash will finish KingGeorge as well from above, and is now in the defender favor. Canadian inside the site gets the kill on the Jaeger, trying to rush the diffuser before he's taken out from above. MVK now has to get back out to safety, and he can before Slash finishes him off. 1v2 with the diffuser down. Slash drops from below, and now both defenders are by the site and by the bomb. Slash
this is year one. This is the first Invitational.
They're both coming from a very, very similar spot. MVK could pick up a double here. K9's going to start holding on the diffuse, and he can hold this all the way through. MVK is the one that's got to make the move, and Slash knows where he's coming from. He turns away the last second. He does get down. He comes off the diffuser. MVK is going to lose the fight anyway. K9 will hold the diffuse. And
this is Redcrow, yeah. Beating the shit out of the diffuser. Dude.
I feel like a little bit of a
honestly, that was the best. Beating the shit out of the diffuser.
Into the site, they didn't take any of the vertical control.
It was the best.
Too many defending operators upstairs, and
now we have this like zappy gadget weird thing going on. Just not you. Back then we used to just fuck shit up, dude.
I feel like
back then we
fucked
shit up.
Of skill on Continuum's part there that they had any chance at that round at all. Canadian just hitting his shots.
I specifically remember I was telling them at this point, I do remember this. I was like, we need to like load up barbed wire through this whole area like we did that last time, and we need the anchor to counter this Montane, because that's the only way they're pushing through.
T-room karaoke room in the last round are forced to go somewhere different now, and while they are still
so we took basically as many operators with barbed wire as we could.
Themselves. Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs. Montane still in the mix here then from Era.
BK, yep. BK and Bets.
I wonder.
Dude, I miss BK and Bets. They were awesome.
The most likely scenario here I see for I'm probably going to try go straight through delivery just like CTM did, but I'm not sure that that's going to work for them if they don't, again, take control above.
Yeah.
And look, this is the same exact setup from CTM that we saw from Era. Clearly, these two teams have practiced a lot on this map together.
The Montane, though, we've already seen how strong he can be.
This is back when the crosshair would not align with all the guns. Yep, that's why you saw earlier, I think it was Canadian, shooting the R4C, and he's shooting down like a hallway, but it's actually hitting the wall in front of him.
Again, that is exactly how they used, that is exactly how Era used Montane on Chalet. Maybe that's their plan on this particular map.
Oh, dude, that old staircase gate was terrible. It looked cool, but it was so terrible.
Waiting for him. The Crocs playing on some staircases close by as well. See how many people they leave up here for this.
I still remember being so frustrated because they just avoided Geisha.
Obviously, the vertical control coming out from Canadian, but not the drop. The drop is not, in fact, open, which means he won't be able to hold the site unless we maybe see a C4 from Bandit.
Oh no, there are 2 shock drones at this point. I think, yeah, it says 1 of 2 for Eclipse. I thought there was 1 back then. Maybe not. This must be the time then where there were 2, but they each did 10 shocks at 5 HP or something.
They try and drone and try and find one inside and waiting.
Yeah, they are definitely going to be clearing out those roamers with the Montane.
Yep. Straight in towards the T-room door he heads. The smoke grenades, though, from the staircase.
Yeah, that's right. 2 drones, no normal drone.
But getting those smoke grenades out very early on like this are not going to be something that Eclipse or that Era really mind doing. Eclipse is actually stuck inside that smoke quite a bit and nearly downed him. One more tick would have all it took. Lucky throw from the Crocs getting it that deep. Now it has allowed him to puck deeper inside a site as well. Montane makes to make sure he's checked every single corner. Otherwise, the Crocs could surprise here. Also, 1 tick from the next smoke grenade could have finished off Eclipse, but it is used up before Eclipse is close enough. So he's safe from that one. But still, being that low health is a risk now as they try and push in through this floor.
Canadian with the pocket barb.
With them now, those K9 and Snake join in, and Avian is repelled on the karaoke window. Crocs hiding inside T. Spray goes to one corner, he's around the other side. He does get down, and Slash will take off the kill, but Snake is now low from that exchange too. They are taking chunks out of air as they come
Remember, if
through
somebody
here.
downed someone and you shot them when they were down, it would take the kill, and then people used to get mad about people taking their kills.
Spotted now over in drum room by that Montagne.
Oh my gosh, dude.
His feet disappear around the corner. Eclipse has been down.
The Monty hipfire with the Magnum laser sight was crazy at this time.
Across the gap. Canadian doesn't get the shot off. That gives Snake alive, but Avian will finish KingGeorge here. So the attackers are winning off these fights. They are whittling down the defenders. This Montaigne push on the Roamers is happening, but there's only 45 seconds left.
I'm getting rolled right now.
Towards the site. Again, Canadian misses that shot and will pay the price this time as K9 shuts him out. Attackers have located a bomb. Down and behind those fallen over tables. MBK underneath the hatch. Sees Snake darting left and right, but can't land a shot in it. Montaigne's still up and above.
Yep.
Young
The
is now
resets for
very,
half
very
HP.
patiently. 28 seconds to go, and the plant still has to get put down. But what site do they choose to put it on? Well, right now, there's a majority of players actually heading towards A. Twitch drone chasing MBK, who's very, very low. That was an important bullet to get on right. Young over by the fallen over tables. He's now being pushed by multiple players. He's got two people coming his way. He's going to find one of them. Will he get the second one? He has down Snake nade. Young is alive, still in there. Slash is here. The plant is going through inside the site, but MBK
Young's the last one, just shoot him!
Young is alone. He's going for the shot through the revolver. He is out of ammo now. Slash looking now to try and pick it up. He gets knifed. Young will finish off Snake as he's down. Look for Avian now. Young's got time for this with a take. NBK is down, so it's a 1v1. K9 is there around nearby. Doesn't know exactly where. The diffuser is down though, so he's on the clock here. Young does not have a lot of health. K9 only needs one shot to make this count. He is prone up and around one corner. Young with a smart play here, going for the pickup on MBK. He's going to have a lot more health to play with his combination, but not a lot of time. K9 now still has eyes on the diffuser. There's a hole in the wall. He's going to see Young's feet. Does get the one, so it's a back to 1v1. MBK going to push aggressively.
Oh! K9, dude.
2. Era take the lead here on Skyscraper.
Okay, K9.
An extreme
I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot how. Like, I obviously know we win, but
push upstairs, clearing out the roamers, forcing the
it's been so long now. Like, I don't remember how the rounds and stuff play out.
To come in and work for that retake. They almost got it thanks to Young, but a nice clutch by K9 at the end there, putting Era 3-2 on Skyscraper.
I like the plant in A side.
Why is the balcony named Unchelly named after K9? He used to just play there all the time, so we used to just call it K9.
Okay, we don't know exactly.
He used to just never move off that window. That was his spot.
We've got the numbers. Let's go back into the other side and just mix it up a little bit. And yeah, as a result, MBK is forced to go right across the big open area in the middle to try and get there, and is downed in the process.
They must have figured Continuum would expect the kitchen plant, and they certainly did. They played a little bit too passively. Young, while he did get that fantastic
should be taught in schools.
He just couldn't peek out to stop the plant fast enough. But now,
very nice try there. As it is, though, Era have the lead. 3 rounds to 2, and they're upstairs again. Inside Tea Room and Karaoke. Once more using this shield and hole in the wall. This time they've moved the hole in the wall a little bit further towards the corridor and put a reinforcement up here. So if they lose control of drum, it may not be as catastrophic.
My drone. Why is the spot an organ called Bolo? Same reason? Yeah, pretty much. Sometimes if there's like a weird spot that there's like really no name for, they will, people will just make a name for the spot based on a player. If some player had a good play there, or if they played that spot a lot or something.
And unfortunately, Canadian missing his drone just a little bit.
A little bit awkward after you.
That's good.
The old hollow looks so weird there. Like it looks like it's in a weird spot on the gun.
No, it's a big
doesn't it?
to do that. Gets it up this time over. Goes back down to a safer spot to actually use it from. And then we'll begin to check Geisha room. So, Hibana charge is going off onto the wall on the far side of Karaoke, which will allow Young now.
I never understood this, but Eclipse used to put him, like, he would want to be on Castle.
No one else has actually managed to have a sight
like, he was such a good player, but he always used to, like, want to play, like, bad roles for some reason.
Already as the clock is ticking low. Still sitting firm inside
when he was like, he just should have been the Ash Jaeger main all day, every day. He would have destroyed everybody.
Something they have to expect. That might come back to bite them if it's too late in the round. MBK heads in through the doorway as the Claymore is placed at the window of the A-bomb. And they shot through the back of the wall from MVK is not going to hit Slash this time over. KingGeorge still repelling outside, and MVK will use this to get in on the staircase. Looks through the hole in the wall. No one quite there. Slash is going to pre-spray.
Look at that, look at that. That was a shotgun hole.
He's now going to use the hole made to try and get a grenade up and through. It does go up, does come back down. It does finish Slash off with the help from Young. Very nice grenade to get the first kill over to the.
Is there the same amount of sweat in Old Siege and New Siege? I mean, I think New Siege is sweatier, honestly.
Down, making this currently a 4v4.
Oh, the old bomb. Remember when you could see through it?
Picks up a double before Snake can come out from behind and trade him out. 2 defenders left up, K9 and Snake. Snake using C4 by Dragon to get himself out, but there's 4 attackers left as Canadian has been revived. Canadian, here we go, as you talked about pushing straight in.
The old chassis, dude.
And now K9 is on his own. Pinned inside the A site, they know where he is. Great flick up, take down MVK. Looks now for Canadian towards Geisha, but the plant is going down inside the A site. It's only going to be on a limited clock in a moment as that is now completed and there's 2 players left outside. Tucks on inside and tries to wait and see and hope somebody will aggressively peek him, but it's not going to happen. Continuum are looking to level out this scoreline right here, right now.
All alone, K9.
Holding one angle. Blackbeard and Young is repelled and looking straight into the site for the other, and K9 still over in Geisha, holding very, very statically.
There's still a balcony there, too. So back then there was a balcony you could walk around on.
Absolutely clear and empty. Sprays towards the window at an empty space at the moment. Young is choosing to come back now. And there it is. Continuum 3 rounds to 3.
Mr. Young.
Continuum cycled the way around the entire site, challenged all of the roamers and won all of their engagements, and ended up taking that round. Just a little bit too much aggression, I feel, from Era. They could have anchored a little bit harder on the site and probably would have had better chance at winning that round.
All right. Back up.
There was no diffuser timer? No. Nope. You just had to guess.
Opening round.
Again, Karaoke Tea Room. They have, as of yet, not been able to stop this Montaigne push.
This is one of the times too where like load barb.
There's the dock again.
Got on in. Still not bringing that frost to the table, which they teased, but decided against. The same.
You know what happened when we were taking like frost there? Panky saying frost, we heard Panky say frost, so we also were like, okay, if he's saying that
Montaigne push at this point,
you know, they're taking a frost, then and we heard it, then so did the enemy team, so we should probably not take it. And he actually apologized to us after the match for us.
They're good at adapting in the middle of the match, and certainly something like a Montaigne push straight in from the balcony door into A is not going to be stumping them, and at least not 3 times in a row, certainly.
As they finish their last few setups, again, level holes here, and the clock's being made inside the side room. Snake and Eclipse have fun with their drones. The round will kick off. Again, everyone's been pretty passive at the start of these rounds, but Consular and some cases on border, we saw some very aggressive spawn peeks.
Was that the IGL? Both me and Canadian were, yeah. Canadian was like primary IGL though. But we both did. Like certain maps, we would not, like one person would IGL, other person would IGL, like certain strategies, you know, one person would call, other, you know, so.
None of them actually being needed. No one's jumping out. No one
better safe than sorry.
Willing to do that. No one confident enough with the way the other team plays outside. No one willing to take their life into the hands of a possible, is it on or is it not, their Claymore situation.
No one came Geisha, yeah, because like
passive defense
I actually remember being very frustrated because no one went Geisha ever, because I was like known that like I will lock Geisha down and you're not coming through here.
Playing on the west stairs.
So I actually started leaving Geisha because I was getting so annoyed of getting like, you know, I was like stuck there like facing a bunch of people after.
He pretty much is going to be the linchpin in this defense. If he gets pushed off those stairs.
The Crocs there before, which is great at doing that.
One thing I miss about Old Siege, one thing that I legitimately miss and wish they would add, I wish that, see, you used to take 3 hits for bar, but it slowed you down a lot more. I wish you would switch attack and defense every round. I made a video on how to hold it. Yep.
Not do anything serious. NBK now taking damage from Avian on the window and is now very, very low in that position. And with Snake at the top behind Slash, picking back up from there is going to be a dangerous play from him. So Avian's going to hold this angle.
I remember saying, I'm like, they don't have any grenades. Run a lot of barbed wire. We can counter this.
The attack from Era even further, and like before you said, they're outside still a minute on the clock. Despite doing this push successfully 3 times, they've slowed down. Sorry, twice. They've slowed down here on the 3rd attempt.
Where is that confidence that we've seen from them all those previous times? Why are they taking so much time with this particular push? Are they worried about MVK on the stairs, who's playing incredibly passively?
Flashes inside. Eclipse will grab on a KingGeorge, but Necrox's smoke takes down Snake this time. The push comes up from Eclipse.
I got wall bang there.
Shots are going to rattle past him from
or no, oh, he came through there. Never mind.
Sorry, the Montaigne's down. Canadian comes in, takes out Slash. NVK will be picked off by K9, and Eclipse takes out Necrox. The Rook and Dot combination is still alive against 3 now. They're very tanky and very healthy. The shots are coming up from the stairs. Eclipse has finished off the Doc. He does try and revive himself, but it will not work. Eclipse out one side, Blackbeard out the other. They know exactly where Young is pinned, and he does not have a lot of health. The shock drone is heading forward. He does take one zap that softens him up a bit further. Eclipse is looking to push on in. Does go around the corner. He stands on up, and Eclipse will take Young out. Took him a long time, but they still win the round.
4 rounds
Close match.
For Era. Young almost with a clutch. That's the 2nd time he's come inches away from pulling the round back into Continuum's favor.
You studied my video for like 3 hours. Your friends told you to custom. You told you to watch a KG video how to hold Geisha. They wanted you to hold it, and you weren't comfortable doing it until you watched the video.
Just stop that Montaigne push. That's 3 out of the 4 rounds now, I think, for Era because of that one particular strat.
Era now to barbecue and kitchen for what could be the World Championship defense. They're setting up like before.
God, it was crazy back then. Yep.
They're going to have rumors upstairs. Continuum did nothing about those rumors on their last attack.
They have to do something. They have to try and take out Geisha. At least apply pressure. Maybe put Young on the Geisha window just to deny them access to that drop. That's all you really got to do. You've got to apply at least.
What's everyone running hollow instead of ACOG?
To Geisha.
I mean, a lot of people still run hollow. It depends on your role, what you're doing.
Their life is never
So.
actually in danger.
Or better yet, kill the guy.
Yeah,
You could do that as well.
Would be great too.
Which needs her recoil taken down now a little bit. Probably a little bit, I think is fair. Just give her the vertical grip back, and I think it should be okay.
The slash is no longer there. Will possibly rotate up later on though, but again, these are matching defense holds as far as.
Also, a lot of these characters, like on attack, everybody had an ACOG, but on defense, they didn't. Like well, Eclipse used to always just run hollows instead of ACOGs.
If they just simply walk their way into delivery, they're going to have to rely on Canadian, again, going big and getting those opening frags.
The F2 is OP on console. It's like so bad on PC. It's not like the worst thing in the world, but it's not.
Here we go.
Finally, we're seeing this from Continuum, and they did it sort of quickly. 40 seconds. Taken off the clock before they got up here. Trophy system taken out inside by the grenades from Canadian.
3 smokes on Ash.
Eclipse is close by. Snake is underneath. Ooh, Canadian sees
See, look, he's shooting into the. This is because the sights were misaligned, so he's shooting the railing here. But he's actually just shooting ahead.
Canadian gets the kill onto Slash, keeping Continuum's hopes alive. There are more rumors up here though, so they need to find the rest of them. And MBK is being tracked by Snake's heartbeat sensor inside drum. KingGeorge coming through from underneath with Young as they're looking to push through delivery, and they will be the pushing towards the bomb site once the top floor has.
Do I have the Continuum charm? There's no Continuum charm.
MVK comes on through, spots Eclipse, and will spot the pulse on the stairs too. MVK now fighting with Eclipse. Eclipse will not land any serious damage. MVK, however, will be downed on the second peak. Canadian's drone comes in from Geisha and also keeps an eye on Eclipse. Snake still on the staircase. Necrox is hanging onto the Geisha window like you asked, and making big holes in the wall to make it easier for them to deny this drop. The rest of the team has gone downstairs and are looking now.
I was doing so bad, dude. I was a 1 in 5 here.
While upstairs still.
Dude! I was getting wrecked. The other 2 maps I played well.
And that has given the rest of Continuum confidence.
I forgot how I did at the end.
Bomb site. Down the back staircase now, Eclipse has decided to come and realizing this is what's coming on through as a minute ticks past on the clock. He's going for the flank. KingGeorge taking out Avian inside the site.
Oh, there you go. I got one.
Now he's pressuring in towards B, and therefore he's going to go around and join Young again. That's the superficial pressure you talked about. Opening up that wall, but not actually playing it, takes away the options for the defenders. 3 defenders left up. Eclipse's flank has slowed down with that kill onto Avian, so he's staying close to the
It was
bar.
best of 3, yeah.
With the noisy made by KingGeorge. You can see him checking this door cautiously as he heads past. Sprints back across, but Eclipse will miss the shot and give his position away again. Young now coming through the hole in the wall. Sightlines onto it, looking across towards the bar, looks a bit too far, but Eclipse again lives to fight another day. Shots rattling off from both of them, but nothing serious. Pulse coming down the staircase will be picked up by Canadian from the hole in the wall. KingGeorge is planting inside the site now. Continuum really looking good for this round, but Eclipse is pushing into the site. We'll find the plant of a
Oh, I got him. Let's go.
Now 1v4. Could be looking down at
Here we go. I had a decent round here. I was bringing it back.
You can see him spraying through the window. He's got mere seconds before the clock will tick down on this diffuser, and he has no more time left to defuse it. They are all outside the different windows. The shots are coming through from delivery from Young. He will grab the kill. We will head to overtime. 3 more rounds to decide the World Championship.
That was a great round from Continuum and fantastic round from Canadian in particular, getting those early picks, especially onto Slash, but even more so a worse round for Era. Slash with that unnecessary aggression in Geisha Room. You have to stay alive up there. Your job is not necessarily to challenge the Geisha window, it's just to deny them access to Kitchen. And when you die early in there, Necrox, as you saw there,
they're sweating. They're sweating.
You couldn't rotate back into Geisha, and as such, the vertical control was lost. How are you going to stop them from walking into the site? There's no one in there, or there's no one in the site. There's no one in Geisha above. There's nothing stopping them from planting.
All right. With the overtime rules, we're about to see exactly the same round again from Era.
Hopefully Slash will just be a little bit more passive in that Geisha room this time.
I feel like that's all he needs to do. They were already getting low on the timing for that push. They already gone down to about a minute before they'd actually killed him out. If he just hangs in there and forces them to come to him for
No, this was year 1. This is the first Invitational.
They could be looking really, really good to hold that side this time over. Putting him on a second match point, series point, championship point after this round. Holes being made in the floor here by Avian. They did leave those sealed last time around, so he's opening them up now, giving Slash a way to help from above while he stays on.
My OG raid charges when hit registry was terrible.
Before, holes in the wall from Kanan. There's a smaller one than last time this time over. Pinning it a little bit more down.
It's gotten a little bit better now.
Of course, that very hole to get that final kill in the last round. With it being in this slightly smaller position, maybe not as easy for him to do it. Snake Nade saying much closer to the side.
Oh, they have a C4 on that wall in delivery.
The delivery wall. Slash is there with him, but Eclipse is still the man upstairs alone this time round.
Slash figuring if he cannot hold upstairs, he'll just hand it over to someone else who can.
Well, the thing is, last time they played all 3 of them upstairs, so
yeah,
handing it over to someone who can, it's just.
Well, I'm guessing they're trying to play a little bit more of the later of the round, just holding the site in of itself, because they know Continuum now is going to try and get aggressive on that upstairs, and maybe they just don't want to challenge it.
Yeah, possibly so. The drones are collecting every other corner of the map right now, though, making sure everything is clean and safe. Snake in the safety of that small room next to delivery, but can
droning out. This is my job. I used to use drone non-stop.
And think about a different place in a moment. Young though peeking to check the corner.
You guys remember how good claymores were back then? Dude, like, you were like halfway out of the window and you were dead. Like, you could not shoot a claymore on a window back then. You also couldn't aim down low enough to shoot them either.
Expecting that aggression again, and they just don't want to deal with it. They're not worried about the verticality because they can technically hold Kitchen all the way from barbecue. They don't have to play anyone in the site. So even if the attackers take control and start looking down, they might not see anyone as there's no one in there.
They are playing 3 players inside that bar seating area over their tables. Up the staircase at the back again, they send 1 more player inside the site itself with smoke grenades. So he will be the man to hold off B for as long as possible.
I've always played Thermite, pretty much, yeah, for the most part.
Herd them off to one way and start to drone out.
Sometimes I'd play a different operator if there was like a certain strat or something, but...
Drone is the first kill here for Continuum. Flash now alone upstairs. Canadian repelling over by A still. Era have all been droned now. There are 3 over by the flipped over tables. Slash caught upstairs here by Necrox, spraying through.
Funny enough, before this team though, I used to play Ash and I used to be an entry. And then after this, I played a bunch of different operators, but on this team, I've mostly played Thermite.
Looking towards the door, it's Slash. Oh, he switched on the cameras at the last second. It's not on the right one, and NBK is going to get aggressive because of it. Young is low. Young grabs Necrox, and Avian will fall. NBK grabs Slash. Snake is now 1v4. Finds Young. Cannot get the kill. Continua are on to championship point with that win here in overtime.
Continuum have read the momentum of Era, and they've said, all right, listen, if you're going to get aggressive, we're just going to wait for you. And they're doing exactly that. Unnecessary aggression coming up from
I think I just said
Era,
good shit there.
Continuum to just set up their crosshairs and pick off the players.
I also feel like those last two defenses of Barbecue Kitchen have been thrown away by Era because they keep giving up Geisha. First round was by an unnecessary aggression. Second round, they just never went near it.
You don't necessarily have to hold Geisha as a defender because you can hold Kitchen Sight and it's almost
Canadian looks young. All of us do, dude. That was a million years ago, it feels like.
A lot easier. All you need to do is just have a player sit in that site and, sit in Geisha and stay alive. And we saw Slash.
So this is that same barbed wire strat again. We did kill the Monty
but now we're
the round before, so.
T-Room again. Era with their Montaigne. Will they be able to be stopped?
Which Continuum haven't been able to
exactly
stop every time it's come their way. But they're doing it again with the same operator.
Barbed wire was so good back then.
I mean, operators, okay,
and they're just not even taking any nades.
Maybe
I still remember saying that. I was like,
they're going forward with that. But
Frost runs barbed wire too.
Yeah, Frost runs barbed wire too, and then you have the Frost traps to slow them down even more. And so far, they haven't put forward any actual particular plan, seemingly, to stop the Montaigne. They've got to establish something, some sort of, I don't know.
The closest they got was Necrox's smoke grenades from that kitchen staircase.
Yeah, but that only delayed them for like half the round.
Yeah, but the closest they came.
Yeah.
And they still gave that up and put MBK there the last time around.
You're glad they took away visual recoil? I'm glad too, yeah.
Time, but neither of them to any real success.
All right, but leading into this round, they know for a fact that Montaigne is going to be coming out.
Match point, chat.
It is the fourth time that it's been made, or that this particular push has been made. And if Continuum cannot figure out this one particular push, then they deserve to lose this round and bring it to the 5-5.
So, as the first minute has already ticked past, Era are now starting to approach the windows and the doors towards the bomb site. Clips is once again up by Terrace, and
F2 is so good, bro.
Flank, and it's a good place to watch as there is one player over in this direction. Barbed wire has been put deeper into the site. This time, as you can see, Montaigne is already in through the door. Nothing there to hold him off. No one on the staircase to hold him off this time either. So, I mean, Snake's position down there at that window, currently null and void. Still a player out flanked round over by Dragon and Exhibition, though.
If me and Canadian watched this back together, yeah, maybe we will one of these days.
Has that
maybe we will. Maybe we'll try to get the whole team together.
What it might be hiding. Once again, down in the back of that T-room, prone.
That'd be kind of fun. Or maybe like all 10 players back together.
Very, very passive. The
to rewatch it. That'd be cool.
Still staying very, very static.
Continuum's not risking anything at all on this defense. They don't want to give up any picks.
You missed when NA ran Pro League.
I
mean, NA doesn't run Pro League right now, but I honestly think NA is the best region currently.
K9 once again at this window. Slash is going in now that Eclipse has got the diffuser and come to join him. Snake's back on the window, watching the lower staircase. Still only a minute to go. And Continuum have all 5 alive. Era have all 5 alive. And this could be the World Championship round. Flash grenades, smoke grenades going in towards the corridor. EMP's going out. The barbed wire will rush on the Snake as Slash goes on through. Young's there and he'll pick up Eclipse from behind. The smoke grenade's now choking Slash out and he's not got anywhere to go. The Montaigne is down. Young picks up the kill. Continuum of 5v3 now. 38 seconds to go. 5v2 and then K9. Snake's coming in the staircase. Avian is inside B, but they don't have the diffuser right now. Very healthy Continuum looking at this. 30 health to go as Snake will take out Young at the backside of A. 25 seconds ticking down on the clock as now Avian holding inside B is looking for someone to peek out on him, but they're not going to do it. They have the diffuser locked inside the A site. They know they've got to come for it. Snake will push his way in. Is it tucked in the corner? 10 seconds to go. Comes on around. Loses the fight to Canadian. 1 to go. It's Avian alone.
Last
and
one.
He drops down. Continuum are your world champions.
That's it? They didn't even give our like award ceremony and stuff? Oh my god. It went autoplay. Dude, is there like one of our like the awards or anything like that?
Destroyed by Season.
Let's see. Oh, look at the Look at the top comment. Watching this a year late only for KingGeorge. There's a rest in peace for Kicks. Canadian still got it. One of the best Pro League matches. It honestly was a good match. Back when George had hair. Oh my god, dude. Let's see if there's like a finish on
Rainbow
this.
Six C.
Kind of crazy that they oldest videos. Let's scroll through. Look at all these old matches, dude. Tell me if I missed it. No, this is okay, yeah. Oh, this was actually a match that I played in as well. This was in the last time that I was in the UK. This was in Leicester, England. So Milspec, that was Serenity's team. I don't know if he was on there at that point, but oh, here we go. Let's see. So this was the other match that somebody was talking about, the Santos Dexterity one. This is the Xbox one. Or no. What? This is season 1. Wait. Okay, this is the PC finals. This is all then. Oh, they didn't upload these in order. It's not there. The moment that we won is not there, dude. You have it. You just need a permit. Put it in Discord because I don't think we like have links allowed. You can always watch it a different day too, I guess. On my arm. Dude, honestly, that was really cool to watch that back, like the nostalgia. The nostalgia of watching that back was really cool. I honestly, it's been so long, I like really forgot like most of this stuff. I really forgot, like seriously. It's been like eons since I played, you know. Been many, many moons. All right. Oh, this was like the full day or whatever. Is this in better quality? That would be hilarious. This is if I just watch that whole thing and then this is in better quality. The one I just watched was in like 720p. So let's see. Okay. Oh, here we can see like the actual like award ceremony and stuff. Oh, here it is. Look at this, look at this, look at this, dude.
They have the diffuser locked inside the A site. They know they've got to come for it. Snake will push his way in. Is it tucked in the corner? 10 seconds to go. Comes on around. Loses the fight to Canadian. 1 to go. It's Avian alone. And he drops down. Continuum are your world champions.
Continuum winning that round, finally figuring out the Montaigne push, realizing that, okay, let's wait for them to get into the barbed wire before we throw our smokes. And now they are the world champions of Rainbow Six Siege PC.
So much hair.
From season 3.
So much hair, so much hope in my eyes.
But they needn't be. They put up an impressive fight. A very, very strong game, especially through the end of Skyscraper.
Look at that, dude.
Continue
Barely even
losing
balding.
that same push onto the top floor, but pulling it out when it counts. Right at the end. In the final round of overtime. 6 rounds to 4. They finally take the victory and will be crowned world champions.
Canadian extremely happy, as you can tell.
On home turf of all places, that man.
Clips is so tall, dude. I am definitely still super short.
This is the 4th LAN event that Era has been to and not been able to secure that final win in the finals.
It's definitely a bitter taste, but what a final it was. All the way through Consulate, 5 rounds to 3 in favor of Era, kicking us off a map that we really did not think they were going to win. They've not had a good run on it this weekend. Continuum have, and they switched it up.
Much youth, yeah.
Things. They played really, really well, and they took that first map. Border, 5 rounds to 2 in favor of Continuum. Again, the scoreline looks like it's a bit more spread than it was. It was
Is that
still a very,
Serenity?
very tight map. And Skyscraper, 6 rounds to 4 in favor of Continuum to wrap it up.
Yeah, clearly both teams have
I think
practiced
that's
Skyscraper
Serenity
a
in the
lot.
middle
I wasn't
of the
expecting Border to be as
casters.
one-sided as it was, but hey, there it is. And it looks like we're going to be moving over.
Yeah, they're going to give them
That's
a moment
Serenity, isn't
to
it?
Set themselves up. Crowd on their feet again, a well-deserved
I don't know, the
victory
video quality is kind of
for
bad, but it
Canadians
looks like
here at
him.
home. And with that, we will go over to the stage. Congratulations once again to Continuum, your world champion. Matt, please take it away.
Panky and Kicks taking us there through a World Championship final like the amazing cast as they are. Thank you so much, guys. And here we have...
This is Matt Andrews. He hasn't been here in a long time.
Wait for it. Let me just address a small thing. When you won Season 3 Pro League, ever since then, you've been calling yourselves the World Champions. And I didn't ever really know how to break this to you, but that wasn't actually a World Championship. It was Europe and North America. This is a World Championship! And you are the world champions. This is it now. There's no doubting it. No one can ask. It is yours. And how does that feel?
I don't really have any words. I just really want to pick up this hammer.
Ojo spotting.
Then you should pick up this hammer. Go get it.
This is the short moment.
Come here, man. No back into people with a sledge. Do you play a sledge often? Because I'm not sure you know where to go with that. So yeah, I know it's going to be really hard to put into words, but let's think about this. We knew you were good. You're the reigning champions of the whole, the last season of the ESL Pro League, and now you come here. You get an invite ticket to this. Era was saying earlier on, they feel like they're in your shadow. You're their rivals. They started off really strong. At the end of that first map, I was looking at you. You looked like you had to really deal with
The hammer
that
is pretty
loss on
heavy,
the
yeah.
It wasn't necessarily that we were dealing with it. We were surprised. Consulate was what we were expecting to be their weakest map going into it, and they definitely showed that they did their homework and played very disciplined and whatnot, but we all knew we could still win. We knew Border was a good map for us. We knew Skyscraper was a good map for us. We knew that we just had to change the kind of play style we were going with. We were still in that more
So
aggressive
skinny,
mode due to
so
playing
much hair.
decks. And Era is a team that plays really passive and plays off picks a lot. They have strats and everything, and they have well-organized strats, but the execute, they wait for picks.
Did
And
Troy
you can
give
see
us
on
the hammer?
Skyscraper,
No, he kept
literally
it the
all
whole
5
time.
hidden
No, I'm
corners
kidding.
with
We each
barbed
got
wire,
it.
And 20 seconds left, they would just walk in through barbed wire.
So you were well organized, you knew what was coming, but still, there must be a lot of praise you want to give to your North American friends.
Definitely. It was a much more difficult match than I ever expected. This
Some
was
clean
an
jeans.
insane
Thanks, buddy.
finals. Yeah, props to them, and I'm glad to see 2 NA teams on top, honestly.
You're not alone in that feeling.
That's Jarvis, I think. Hey, Jarvis?
The world champions, then.
Yeah, it is really cool to watch
Never
this.
to be disputed. First ever time on PC, and we have a whole incredible second year of Rainbow Six Siege to look forward to.
And now we're on year 9, going into year 10.
We're going to have more seasons of the ESL.
Yeah, it's Jarvis.
There's going to be another 6 Invitational, and you are going to be the world champion. So we will see what you bring next time. We've got you in competition, but for now, rightly, you're world champions on PC. It's Continuum!
Woo!
What a showing from both of these teams, Era and Continuum. I mean, this was
there they go. They kind of got my highlight there a little bit.
Appearances of PC play that we have ever seen, and I'm so happy that we actually got to see all of it here.
We saw so many great plays from so many players. Sometimes it was their map, sometimes it wasn't. We saw
Mr.
Like KingGeorge not doing a lot in those first maps, just really coming out, especially in Skyscraper. And these plays on Skyscraper were just so intense. Those knife fights, those Montaigne battles coming down to the gas.
Dude, the other 2 maps I played good, and on Skyscraper I played bad.
What Canadian had said is that Era is a team that loves to go for the soft angles, loves to go for those peaks and hold on to them, let the attackers and defenders come to them. But when it came on down to it,
the Monty hipfire was so crazy.
And this is what
this would have been a
Era.
crazy clutch if Young won this.
But it always came down to a final push, and a lot of times it didn't go in their favor.
Yeah, and you saw a lot of sometimes the aggression just not working out. Players like Slash, for example, are
Is there
great at
anything
what
left
they do,
besides
but
this?
sometimes it was just
Let's
over
skip
the
ahead.
And you heard it from Canadian. They adjusted to that, and that's what really backfired in the end. Is they adjusted a little bit better than the other team did.
Like, it's like 10 more minutes to watch it out.
Wire, that smoke. The frost trap thing didn't necessarily work out.
Team
for
is
the
definitely
team,
treating me well.
Just great.
I still
adjustments
love
from both
Siege,
teams.
dude. I do.
What I really noticed about this map that I had never seen too much of a strat on was there was a lot of repelling. There's a lot of, we saw at times 3 or 4 of the attackers all repelled off the banister, off the balcony, looking in through different windows or walls that they had opened up. And that's something, to me, I was seeing that makes you very exposed, very vulnerable. But you had the teamwork, you had the coverage for the crossfires to occur and allow that to be an asset to the attackers.
Yeah, you even saw that on Consulate. A lot of them trying to repel and cover for each other, even baiting them out, hoping they would come out for those picks. We did see occasionally that happen, but eventually that got pulled back and no teams were risking it at that point.
Yeah, and so, I mean, just the culmination of the entire 3 days we've been here, it all came down to this. It was a fight to the death here between the 2 NA teams of Continuum and Era, and this is...
It is cool watching this back, though, dude. I honestly have forgotten pretty much everything. Obviously, you know we won and stuff, but...
Everyone here. I mean,
oh, that's Helby, I think.
The screen. It was amazing.
Yeah,
amazing here.
I felt like at the very end there, it could have gone either way. Both teams pulling out big surprises on each other, that Consulate especially, a big surprise for both teams. Just amazing. We did not see that coming at all. And the end, I still don't feel like I saw coming.
And I mean, here we have it. Our champions Continuum right now, lifting the hammer of power.
Too short.
Hammer to call themselves the first ever PC World
Big reach
champions.
up for that hug. Yeah, Eclipse is tall, dude.
Oh, I didn't quite realize how heavy that thing was. Yes, it is a sledge of a trophy. And yes, Continuum. It is now yours, along with all the bragging rights of being genuinely now the world champions. I had to point out that.
Bloodbath and Enzo.
They have.
But I knew they would take it, and they would take it well, and now it's there.
That was the whole
So
theater, by the way. That's how many people were there at the
Let's
first
show you
invite.
how that whole thing came about. There it is. We had our invited teams on Friday. Qualifying teams on Friday. They were Era, Envy, Euronics, and Santos. We had amazing games. We knew from the start. It feels like many, many more days ago. We knew this was going to be an incredible competition.
Santos was really good. They were the Brazilian team.
One of our invited
You know who
teams
was on
with the other
Santos'
invitees
dexterity?
put away
Cameraman.
Santos quite dramatically. 5-0
Cameraman.
in their first map.
Definitely.
Still great comeback from Santos, though, to take it to 2-1, and we loved having them here, and we're very pleased to be seeing
The Santos
more of
game I
Latin
went
American
off.
scene in
I
future
honestly
ESL
don't even
Pro Leagues.
remember. I'd have to watch it back.
Continuum. 2-1 over Era, a great contest.
We did pretty.
Final, and a great result.
We did pretty good on the predictions this time.
You did pretty well. That's what he wants me to point out, is he did pretty well on the predictions this time. We could only do better than our predictions on Xbox.
Agreed.
Let's be honest.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were a bit muddled up on maybe who would win what.
Well, I had the order correct. I had the order correct, but no.
Yeah.
It's all
But yeah, 5-3 on Consulate and 5-2 on Border.
Throwback Thursday. Maybe we could. Maybe I'll like watch back like my old Pro League matches every once in a while and stuff like that.
Struggle on it at first, and we had to see them do some of that adaptation that they needed to do because I don't think they were expecting the kind of attacks and defenses that Era was doing. And it was a good start for Era, but eventually I think they lost some of that momentum, and it just became a little bit of a struggle there. But doing so good on Consulate, I think, still kind of carried. You heard Slash yesterday kind of saying that Consulate was almost a throwaway for them, and we're just sitting up there wondering, is that a bait? Were they using their weaker strategies to kind of bait Continuum into it? And maybe they were. And I think it's that kind of mind game at this high of level that you see from both these teams going back and forth. It was interesting to see even Era just pushing the same strategy, not only that they were doing time and time again in this round, but they've been doing it in the qualifiers as well. It's something they'd shown, and you saw constant iterations from Continuum trying to adapt. And because they finally were
Hence when they won Sao
there's
Paulo.
that
That'd be a good one, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think that's one of the things to point out about Era is, like you said, they've shown very similar strats throughout the closed qualifiers and the open qualifiers, and in this weekend's the 3 days of matches here. But I think that goes to highlight how well they can execute those strategies.
Pretty good
Even if
cosplay,
the opponents
too.
know it's coming, they still need to be able to defend against it. And Era has put up time and time again some great showing of all of their strategies and shown that they can be one of the world's best executions.
Yeah, and we will look forward to seeing
What's
a lot
that
more
sign
of them throughout our second year of
I
Rainbow
feel like
Six.
this copy
It's been an incredible first
of the
year.
stream
You've had
was
all these
better
new
than
maps,
the
you've had
other
all
one.
these new operators. We've had 3
That I
amazing
watched.
seasons of the
Oh, well,
ESL
too
Pro
late
League
now.
on Europe and North America. Welcome now for year 2, Latin America, to the Pro League party, because on PC we're going to be doing it throughout EU, NA, and Latin America too. So we'll look forward to bringing you those finals. We've got lots more to look forward to, as we said on the year 2 roadmap earlier. There's going to be 3 more seasons of an ESL Pro League, and guess what? We're going to have a 6 Invitational again.
ESL
Can't
Pro
wait.
League.
Gonna be
Back in
quite a
the
long
day,
wait, but can't
chat.
wait.
Back in the
So we're gonna be
day,
doing
brother.
that. There's going to be 4 more updates, new seasons, and the first of those kicking off the year 2 of Rainbow Six Siege. That is Operation Velvet Shell, and that is yours in 2 days.
They brought an
time.
APAC,
Live
I think, in
will be
season
co-signed for everyone to
3
play
of
on.
this year.
Season pass holders, of course, you get Jackal and Mira to play with a week ahead of everybody
This is when
else,
Jackal and
everyone
Mira
else you can
came
have
out.
with Renown. Jackal and Mira on Coastline, going to mix things up a bit.
And
as well.
Coastline
I
coming
do
out.
know people are really interested in the chibis as well. You're imagining it. They're not actually there, these things. No, there was nothing.
I want to point out as well that now's a good time.
Distract them now. Distract them now, Emzo.
Yes.
If you want to get into that Velvet Show, like, before the weekend's over, pick it up at 50% off.
Yes, absolutely. It's been the free weekend of Rainbow Six Siege, so get on that. And if you want to buy it
50%,
now.
dude, that
'cause
was
on all
when the game
platforms
was
it
like
is half
30
price during the
bucks.
free weekend. Thank you, everybody who's watched the whole of the Six Invitational. It's been such a genuine pleasure bringing you this, working with these incredible teams and the amazing crew that we have here in production as well. So thank you to everybody behind the stage and behind the scenes in production. Thanks to Emzo, Bloodbath, Panky and Kicks for making my job quite a lot easier by knowing what they're doing. Thanks to all the teams who qualified from all the regions to come here and everybody involved with this. Thank you, Montreal!
Woo!
It has been so much fun here in the home
It was
of
honestly
Rainbow
fun
Six
watching this
Siege.
back, dude.
And let's remind ourselves once more, we now have, for the first time ever on Rainbow Six Siege, genuine world champions. Congratulations to both of those teams.
Elevate, and we have Continuum. I mean,
Elevate and Continuum. Can they hold it till the next Six Invitational?
This is
Will
back
they
when there was
retain
an
it at the next
Xbox
Six
Pro League,
Invitational?
too. This was the
Well,
end
we'll
of
find out.
Xbox Pro
According
League.
to
It got
Canadian,
canceled a
we did
little
it,
bit
we can
after
do it again.
this.
There you go. Yeah. So
Did you get
have
to
a
chill
great
in
year
Montreal
two of
after?
Rainbow
Did you go
Six
right back
Siege. I look
home?
forward to joining you all again when it's
That
time
night
to have
we
our
stayed
next
in
Pro
Montreal. The
League
next
finals.
morning we
You guys
flew
will be
out.
casting and having a load more fun with the competition. Let's get on to Velvet Shell as soon as we can. From all of us here in Montreal, it's been an absolute pleasure bringing you this. Thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Congratulations, Continuum and Elevate. There it is, chat. There it is. The first Rainbow Six Invitational. That was it. That was it. Yeah, they used to just announce the new season and it would just come out. There was no test server back then. It's fun. I honestly had a good time doing it, dude. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. All right, chat. I'm going to call it there, though. If you're new to the stream, these are my social media accounts. follow first. That'll put me in your followers list, and turn on notifications. That'll tell you when I go live. Make sure you click both of them because I don't really have a schedule. My social media channels are as follows. That's the main YouTube channel where I've edited highlights there. Pojo's one of my editors, funny enough. And I'm sure they'll probably chop up that VOD into a video and stuff. It should be pretty fun. Second channel is there. There's full games of Siege there every day, and I'll probably back this up to that channel. Twitter account's right there. I post on Twitter before I go live and just random stuff. Instagram and TikTok, where I post little clips from the stream pretty much every day. My editors do as well. They'll probably post a lot of stuff from this VOD. Public Discord server is right there if you want to hang out with chat after the stream. And if you haven't seen it yet, I made a bidet, chat. You can click here or type ! bidet in the chat to check out my bidet, which is Throne Bidet. It's my actual company. I spent about $60,000 in about a year and a half of time developing and creating this bidet and making it come to life. I own the mold for it. I own patents for it in multiple different countries, trademarks. Or when you buy one, they're $39.99 with free shipping, with or without Prime. Comes in this nice box. Inside the box comes a metal braid supply line with a metal tee, the instruction manual, obviously, and the bidet. The way you install it is super easy. You unscrew your existing toilet seat, you put this underneath the toilet seat, you screw the toilet seat back on top, click it into place, fold the nozzle until it clicks into place. Turn off the water to your toilet, which is in the bottom right or left of the toilet. There's a little valve. Flush your toilet a couple times to empty the water out of the tank. Grab a bucket in case there's any residual water. There should be something like this hanging off your toilet tank. Unscrew the existing one, screw this on its place, screw the old water line on here, and then connect to the back of the bidet here. Tighten up the connections, and that's it. Turn the water on and the bidet is installed. What does it do? Basically, after you take a fat, steaming hot shit, you click this button, a nozzle will come down, and it's pretty much a personalized shower for your butthole. It does not go up your butthole. It's clean water. Remember, this water comes out before it ever hits the toilet, so it's the same water that comes out of your shower, and it doesn't splatter everywhere. There's an actual stop button for when you want to stop. The nozzle does self-clean itself with this button with these little nozzles in there, as you can kind of see. And there's a female wash option for the ladies. You can control the pressure with this beautiful knob. Nice and tactical. And yeah, definitely buy one because I spent a lot of time and money making them higher quality and making a good product. And number one, they're way cleaner than toilet paper or wet wipes. They're way faster. The only toilet paper you're going to use from now on is just a little bit of toilet paper to dry up. Use about 80 to 90% less toilet paper. I used to spend like $20 a month on toilet paper. Now I spend that same amount every like 5 to 6 months. So you save a lot of money. Additionally, you'll have less toilet and plumbing clogs. If you have a septic tank, there's less pumping of that out. And it's also better for the environment. It uses very little water. Do we ship to Czech Republic? I don't know. You could check. If you're not within the U.S., you don't get free shipping, just so you know. And you might need to buy some plumbing adapters for like the hose for the supply line, just so you know. But it comes in black. It comes in white. If you're within the U.S., $39.98 with free shipping. If you enjoy the product, please leave a review. They do help a bunch. So definitely check it out. I have a Charm in Rainbow Six. If you want to get it, it's really easy to do so. Just sub to me on Twitch, and then link up your Ubisoft account, Twitch account. When you do that, you'll get my in-game Rainbow Six Charm for free on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. All guns, all operators, all future guns, all future operators. You sub to me one time for 1 month, you get to keep the charm forever. You can use a tier 1, 2, or 3 sub, a gifted sub, or free with Prime. If you have Prime, click here, link up your Amazon account, Twitch account, and you can sub to me every month for free. You can also use a family or friends sub, Prime sub with their permission, or do a free 30-day trial. Any way you sub, one time for 1 month, you get the charm, as long as you're subbed with your account linked up. Every month you continue to sub, you get 60 emote sub badge, no ads, Discord role, and of course support the stream. So if you do it, I appreciate it. If you have a free Prime sub, appreciate it. You could just type !bidet in the chat and Twitch chat. I mean, there's a bunch of links for it right above where you typed. GFuel is up to 30% off with code KingGeorge. Click here or type !GFuel in the chat. Anything you buy on the GFuel website, use code KingGeorge. You get the biggest discount of up to 30% off. So it depends on the item. It's either 10, 20, or up to 30% off. You get the biggest discount. When you use my code, I earn money from it. It helps with my sponsor. And eventually I may get my own flavor of GFuel. So if you're buying any GFuel, I appreciate if you use my code. You get the best discount and support the stream. There's the energy and protein form, which is energy with protein. Energy form, which is caffeinated. Hydration form, which is caffeine free. And there's featured collections like Tetris and all this other stuff. Shaker cups, as well as gear and stuff that's on sale. Anything you buy, use code KingGeorge. The main stuff that I use personally, I use the energy formula. All of these are the same flavors except for the anime and the Blue Bomber slushie. So just pick one that you think looks cool, any of the cups. The way it works, you pour the packet upon the cup, you add water. I like to add some ice, shake it up, and you have an energy drink. There's 140 milligrams of caffeine, which is about 2 cups of coffee, same as your standard energy drink. There's no sugar. Unlike sugar energy drinks, the cups are reusable. You'd never guess that it was sugar-free, though, because it tastes so good. And the best part of all is when you buy the tubs, it's under $1 per serving. There's a whole bunch of different tubs and stuff like that here. They do collaborations with, Duke Nukem, Bill and Ted, My Hero, Doom, Dragon Ball Z, Cyberpunk, Pac-Man, and you name it. Some good flavors I would personally recommend: Naruto Sage Mode, Hype Sauce, Sonic Peach Rings, Watermelon, Sour Blue Chug Rug, Shiny Splash, and I heard the Fallout one's really good. I haven't had it, though. So those are some good ones to try out. Definitely give them a shot. And whatever you buy, make sure you use code KingGeorge. We have our merch, which is right here. There's the classic stuff, which comes in a bunch of different colors, as well as black ice. And last and final thing, there's Factor. You get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next 4 orders when you use the link, and it supports the stream. So the meals are as low as $5.75 per meal. You could pick whatever kind of meals and stuff you want. The menu is right here for this week, so this is actual food that you can order right now for $5.75 a meal, so just kind of check it out. Some really good-looking stuff here. Absolutely delicious. I've eaten a bunch of these meals personally. I just had a ton that I did. There's also add-ons that you could order, and you get the best price. You get half off, which is pretty sick. So you can order as few as like 6 meals or as many as 18. And if you order 14 or more, you get them for $5.75 a meal, which is pretty inexpensive. And they're fresh, never frozen meals. So definitely check them out. Exclamation point Factor or click here. But yeah, that's about it. I'm going to call it there. If you guys are new to the stream, just follow, turn on notifications if you're on YouTube. Thank you for watching. It's pretty cool to go back and watch my invite win. So yeah, it's definitely a throwback, dude. Definitely a throwback. But all right, chat. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day or night wherever you are. Appreciate everyone for watching. Buy a bidet and clean your ass today.